Dorian, come here.
Why are you watching those? Did you have a ghost moment?
When do I not have a ghost moment? It's just fascinating to hear people who don't believe in the supernatural world
Wow, the whole picture changed.
deal with that stuff.
Normally when we see dinosaur skeletons, we have parts of the skeleton. One of the cool things that they tell us for this specimen, skin is preserved.
Oh
I'm
boy.
calling this the Rosetta Stone for armored dinosaurs.
And it's the closest you'll come in terms of coming face to face with the dinosaur.
Sorry. Can we get everybody offline?
Yeah. I'm just checking his sizes so I can order that.
Is your phone offline?
Is it in there? Well, no, I can't be off. Oh, yeah.
We always ask our guests at the bottom of the show if you have any, and it's okay if you don't have them, okay? Paranormal, extraterrestrial, or unexplainable stories that have ever happened to you. Ghost stories.
Yes, I do.
You do? Okay, God bless you. What do you got for me?
So I was dating this girl. Not my ex. My ex.
Any ghost stories? Yes. We ask all of our guests if they have ghost stories, supernatural experiences, UFO sightings, anything like that. You don't need to get too, and if you don't, you can say no. That's perfectly fine. But do you have any supernatural experiences?
Mm-hmm.
You do? All right.
To Nashville and to a scientific conference, and I looked online to book a hotel. Booked a hotel, and then I went down to Nashville, and my former graduate advisor was coming, staying in the same hotel, but he didn't come with me. And a student of mine who had become a professor was also coming into town. Okay, so I got to this hotel, and I didn't know that Nashville, that had been hollowed out, like the downtown wasn't good. There were lots of abandoned buildings. It was pretty crime-ridden, not a fun place. They're trying to put it back together, but the hotel that I'd rented was sort of in the middle of this. It was a 70s hotel, and so it's kind of in a sketchy neighborhood. So that was interesting. So I walked in, but the lobby was beautiful. Like they'd completely redone it. There were replicas of like Renaissance paintings on the roof. It was all marble. It was really quite impressive. And then right next door to the lobby, there was this huge restaurant that probably sat 300-400 people. Really big restaurant. And I looked in the restaurant, there wasn't a single person there. And there was this steam table, you know, full of stainless steel trays, huge trays. And all there was like mac and cheese and green beans. You know what green beans are like if they're like soaking in hot water for like an hour. It's like, you don't want to eat those things. So that's all there was. And I thought, that's kind of weird. And there was no people in there. No staff, no people. That's weird. So anyways, I checked in and I went up, and the rest of the hotel really hadn't been fixed up since the 1970s. So it smelled like smoke. The carpets were old. I went into my room. It was kind of ratty, but it was okay. Put my computer on the bed, put my luggage on the bed, and called my graduate student and went out to have some barbecue. So that's fine. So then I came back and got into my room, and my graduate student came along. This was Colin, the guy who invented that personality test. And I walked in, and all the drawers in the cabinets were open. Like, so there was a bureau, 4 drawers and 4 drawers side to side. And there was the little table between the beds, and there was a desk. And all of the drawers were open. And not just a little bit open, like completely open. But my computer was still on the bed, and so was the luggage. And I thought, well, that's weird. I didn't open those damn drawers. And if someone came in here to steal something, why didn't they take the computer? That'd be the logical thing to do. So we closed all the drawers, and then we thought, well, maybe a big truck went by, and like it's a pretty stupid hypothesis, but we couldn't think of anything else. So we kind of shook the cabinet to give the doors to open. We shut all the doors.
Put on
When we
Patreon.
turned around, the damn drawer on the desk was open again. So we shut that.
I'm in the middle of an order. I could do it. I mean,
okay.
I don't want to lose what I'm doing.
I had opened, the drawer was open in the middle little cabinet between the beds too, and there was a Gideon Bible in there, and it was open, and it was open to the line that says, Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. And I thought, well, that was pretty interesting. I closed the door, and my we talked for a while. Graduate student left, and I thought, I didn't really think much of it. I thought it was weird, but whatever, it was weird. So then I went to sleep. In the middle of the night, I woke up and I thought,
They didn't give me
that
the
wasn't just
discount.
weird. That was really weird. It was like someone was in my room,
That
right?
code was
Because
in there.
otherwise, why were the drawers open? And why were they open? Like,
That was the
what's
price.
going on?
And the
$100?
Bible was open.
Well,
Yeah.
and so the next morning, I went downstairs to
Really?
this
It's
girl,
supposed to be
black girl,
25% off
and,
anything over
And,
45.
I
Anything over
I walked
49.
up and I
Yeah,
said,
how much
"Look,
did you
I
think
don't
that was gonna
alarm
be?"
you, But
Didn't think it was gonna be that.
That's why I said, I
I
was
went
like,
up
a
last night,
jersey?
and when I came back
And that?
into my room, all the drawers were open. I think someone was in my room, and she said, "I don't want to alarm you,
God.
but you know this place is haunted, and I always come to work with a baseball bat." And I thought, oh, well, of all the responses I thought I would get,
Is that more
raised-
terrifying?
Well, it was just, it was surreal, right? And it was like a movie moment. It was ridiculous. So I went and talked to my
I don't know what to do. I don't know how to contact. Oh, here's the number. Actually, I can. Did you put it up on Patreon?
No, not yet.
Okay, I'll do that and then I'll take care of that.
We are live,
Oh,
ladies and
but I don't
gentlemen.
have the link.
It's on Facebook. You can just copy and paste it from Facebook. We are live.
Hello.
Now.
Wow, look how creepy my brother's hand looks.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Creepy?
I refuse to watch TYT or MSM do this. Hey, Carmen. Haven't seen you in one of these in quite some time. So, it'd be cool if we had, a bunch of callers talking through. First and foremost, did everybody vote? If you didn't vote, I'm kicking you out of the live stream.
I didn't vote.
You're out. You're out, sorry.
I don't know why I didn't go vote. Too preoccupied with everything else.
CNN has it 35-31 for the House and 42-31 for the Senate.
Can I go vote now?
And then Fox, I think so.
I don't know if I'm registered with my new name, my new last
Polls
name.
close from 8 p.m. to 5 p.m. It's still early, I guess you can still vote, yeah.
Get that link.
Okay, so the House, the Fox News has it 19-28 for the House for the Democrats. So it's a 78% probability right now that the Democrats are going to have control of the House, and then a 56% probability that the Republicans are going to have control of the Senate.
I don't know how to copy this stuff, dude. I want to help you, but I
And,
don't know what I'm doing.
And a 100% probability that we're going to be in a divided country, as usual. You just take that link. That's a really good page. I need nail clippers, voila.
I mean, you don't need this. I can do it right now, right?
Yeah, leave it. Because it was being all weird. So the Libertarians lost again? Yes, the Libertarians lost.
We are also multitasking right now. My stomach feels so full.
Really?
Yeah, and I didn't even eat enough, I don't think. How do I know if I'm registered to vote?
Say
Like if
again?
you get a name change, like, you know, I married
Right.
you, so so your last name changes, then what? Are you supposed to report that? Or is it already reported because you get a social security card change? Does anybody know
I'm not sure.
the answer to that question? Like if I was already registered to vote, should I be able to just go down and do it? But my name changed? I don't know.
There we are. Why are you people there? Select all. Copy. You're good. Do that on Patreon. You're all set. All right. By the way, this is Mark who follows you. What's good, Mark? Mark Cavalera. Is your ID name changed? I think it is, Carmen. Carmen of the Village.
Yes, my ID is changed. My ID and my social security card, they all say the same thing.
I'm surprised that no band has called themselves like the Orc, whatever. What did the Orc call themselves? Did they call themselves the Orcs or something else?
I don't remember them really talking.
So, what do you guys think? Everybody's basically been saying that the Democrats are going to take the House, and then that the Republicans are going to hold the Senate. Nail biters in Florida. See, right now, they've got it tied. So CNN has the House tied at 35-35, and then Fox has it Fox has it 28-22. So it's weird. It's a strange situation. Hi guys, looks like I'm gonna get to watch this one. Enjoyed the last one. What's the talking point? The talking point is, here's my thesis. The elections today really aren't going to change anything. I'm not saying that you shouldn't vote. I'm saying that the elections today aren't going to materially change anything. So if you disagree with that, call in and we can chat.
Why do you think that? You don't want to say until the person calls in?
I think that Trump is so much of a... Look, they still have the Senate, and Trump is so much of a... there's no political capital. See, usually previous presidents, there was a lot of political capital because they were worried about getting reelected and they were worried about how they were. So there was a lot of like compromise that had to be made and things like that. Trump isn't like that. And so I just feel like that there really isn't materially much that's going to change. But if somebody thinks otherwise, let me know. I wrote myself mystery. You wrote yourself in. Did you shoot that little spot yet? Elections will change some local policy, not so much national. Right.
Did Peter show up? Is Peter here?
M. Def fan. Yes, he's def a phenomenon. Oh, we got Flanagan. Flanagan, my good man. You gotta turn. You gotta turn down your thingamajig, my guy.
Hey, what's up, brother? Good man. What's up, brother?
What's up?
Not a lot. Just laying here, hanging out, watching the results on the laptop and stuff, trying to see, what I can get, accurately anyway. I guess it's a waiting game, all in all.
Well, CNN right now has the House tied.
And Fox has it pro-Republican, right?
No, Fox. No, Fox is saying that the Democrats are like well in the lead, which of course now I see the logic, right? Because
it gets the voters out.
Exactly, right?
Stop it! People are so dishonest.
So Fox is going to be like, Fox is like, oh shit! Look, they've got all these seats in the House. You need to get out and vote. They got a 77% chance of winning, and then the CNN press is saying, "Oh man, there's only 1 point difference, so we won't really know." I just figured it out. I was like, "Why are they doing it like that?"
That is crazy. I've been bedridden with some sores and stuff for a long time. I'm getting better and everything, but I was like, hey, I need to jump on this. I need to get in here, man. You know, I've been talking a lot of shit. I need to be backing it up. So we got the hold on, sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So anyway, so I got my absentee ballot in, and my social worker came by. We got it all filled out and everything, and then I had one of my helpers go down to the courthouse to the county clerk and give it to her, and she's like, I'm sorry, we can't take this. And she's like, what do you mean? He's disabled. It's an absentee ballot. You know, he filled it in, and you guys sent it to him. And she's like, but are you a family member? And of course, she's not a family member. She's black. And it doesn't matter. I mean, it could be, but she, you know, obviously she was kind of like, I don't know. I don't know what the situation was because I wasn't there. So I can't read the attitude. But she was like, no, I'm his helper, and he has to have this. He has a right to vote. And she's like, yeah, but unless you send it in on time, or you're a family member, you know, we can't accept your ballot. And no one told me that. It was just like, you know, I don't think it's voter suppression. I just think that, you know, it's like, wow, man, it's like, I was really upset earlier. I've gotten over it now because now I know what I have to do in the next election, you know. But, man, it just really pissed me off earlier because, you know, it's like no one told me, you know, that I had to, you know, send it in a certain amount of time, or I would have, or by and large, I could just get it down there and someone could just hand it to somebody and it would be fine. It didn't have to be a family member. I'm in Missouri, by the way.
So do you think that today's midterms are really going to change life for us tomorrow?
Nah, not tomorrow. I think you made a good point, or whoever it was made a good point about a lot of it's going to be local. And I think that can stretch out into being federal. Like I said, here in Missouri, there's a bit. Proposition 2 is about legalization of medical marijuana. I think that hopefully is going to pass. And then, you know, I think as the more Democrats get back into power, I think that we can, you know, not we. I'm not really Democrat or Republican. I'm more kind of a, you know, independent, you could say, I guess. I think the Democrats could probably, you know, sway more, have more power, you know, in the House and the Senate, or however that works out. Trump's going to be difficult, like he always is, but you know, I don't know, man. I'm an optimist. I'm an undying optimist, but yeah, it's you know, it's not going to be, you know, tomorrow for sure.
Yeah. All right, man. I appreciate you. You got to keep the phone lines open. Have a good one, bruv.
All right, brother. Bye.
That actually makes sense. At first I was like, what? They didn't let him pass in his thing? But think about it. Like, you know how there's elderly people and then the nurses go in to work with them, or the CNAs that go in? Somebody could just see somebody's voting thing, snatch it, and fill it out and then go deliver it. Right. I'm actually surprised they even let family members drop it off. I'm surprised you don't have to mail it in.
Right.
Honestly, mailing it in, you could trick the whole thing. The whole thing is messed up because you could still do the same thing. You could steal somebody's thing and then send it in.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Are you guys pro weed? I think I was reading that there's this article that said something about like weed killed Colorado. Don't let it happen to your state or something like that. I don't know if anybody's heard of that, but okay, so the Denver Post. As Colorado auto deaths involving marijuana rise. Whoa. Colorado doctors claim first marijuana overdose death.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that could happen. An 11-month-old boy. I mean...
Yeah.
That's not...
Yeah, that would have happened regardless.
Yeah.
That would have happened
that's
regardless.
Terrible. I'm okay with it as long as it's helpful to the person. If it's ruining their lives or, you know, whatever, like what they were saying there, if somebody's going to do that and then get behind a wheel, no, I don't think that you should do that. But, you know, some people use it and it helps them with like seizures and different things like that. And then some people,
Yeah,
Some people it really chills them out and helps them to like relax.
Yeah, but what's happening in Colorado is not medicinal. It's recreational.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm going against everything I've ever been taught, but I'm okay with that as long as it's within reason.
no, I agree.
You know?
Accidents. Okay, so here we go.
I mean, some people it makes them freak out. Those people shouldn't have it. But I think you just, as long as you can know yourself and know, like, you know, and then follow what you know. If you know, do people get addicted to that? I've heard people say that you don't get addicted to it, but I don't understand how you cannot get addicted to something if it makes you feel better. Like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm pretty much good with it. So you know, I mean, I saw that one meme. I never really checked it. I feel like that's one of those things where you're never going to be able to get like the objective truth because
habit forming, not addictive.
people are so,
Same thing to me.
you know, people are so, well, no, I think habit forming and addictive are not the same
It's the
thing.
same thing to me, I said.
No, an addiction is like
You
destructive.
cannot stop.
You cannot stop. Habit forming is just a habit. It's not the same thing. America's trying to take after Amsterdam. I think that's a terrible idea.
Yeah, but nobody crashed a car because they were smoking a cigarette, you know, like, oh, I smoked that cigarette and then I went driving and I crashed. Like, that doesn't happen.
Jonathan, how could being high not affect your driving? What are you talking about, bruh?
He's high right now.
It's not. Hey, Zonia. Zonia, I made the statement that no matter what happens today, we're not really going to, nothing is really going to change anything.
Honestly, I've seen people high that don't really act all that different. And then I've seen other people high that I'm like, that person is... I don't know if
Lamb Sauce won a Fortnite match today.
Ooh.
That's really cool.
There you go.
One of these days. I was in the top 14 in my solo battle.
So stop. Weed is fine.
Yeah, Martini. There's not even a comparison as far as how many deaths from a weed OD versus even that weed OD that we talked about is questionable. So come on, Denver Public Health. There's a Denver Public Health.
No one gets in bar fights and beat the shit out of their girlfriends if they're smoking marijuana.
That's a good point.
I tried it one time. I got really angry. Really, really angry.
Do you think that the left and the right represent the average American's belief? Tell me both sides sound crazy. Zonia is hilarious. She goes, I'm on my way to drop off my disappointing ballot. Zonia, in a perfect world, I do it all the time. Jonathan, just don't be on the street when I'm driving. When you're high, please.
Jonathan, I am. Is he answering when I said... He's probably high right now when he said the old thing.
For sure.
What about the argument that it's a gateway drug?
Yeah, if Democrats get the House, they're going to open up more investigations or expand the current into the Trump-Russia. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think there's going to be a lot of this desperate stuff. I think the Kavanaugh stuff, they were promising to open up all the FBI files with the Kavanaugh stuff, but due to the last... 2 women coming out and recanting their statements, I think they're probably going to leave that alone now. I like when my brother's high because he gives me money.
Jay, you're funny. He puts this arrow. This person is also awesome, but we don't know who's coming next, and then boop.
Alec, I like a little meth with my weed.
Yikes.
Oh, I'm sure. That would explain your terrible arguments, Alec, when you call in. Gateway because you have to go to a dealer who will push harder drugs on you. That's actually a good point. It's a gateway drug because the dealer is pushing harder drugs on you.
Yeah,
But if you were to go to a legal dispensary, they're
Yeah.
not going to have,
Yeah.
heroin and all this other stuff.
yeah, because
That's
I think most people can get a medical marijuana card.
But again, it's not medical in Colorado. It's just
recreational,
just
and it's
across the
anybody
board.
can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then why wouldn't you just grow your own? Why would you trust the guy down the street and pay what the guy down the street's going to charge you when you can just friggin' grow your own?
I don't think you can grow your own in Colorado. I don't know.
You can't grow your own, but you can smoke as much as you
They
want.
regulate it.
Yeah, but you would
They
think.
regulate it so that they can tax it,
Oh,
right? So,
okay.
yeah. I'm watching too many streams at once. Phoebe, you need to just watch ours. The other ones are worthless. They're going to give you, they're going to lie. They're going to fill your mind with lies.
Hi, Taylor Cruz of the Village. Vin and Sorry, pin my post on the At the Gate video, please. Why?
Why should I pin your post, Drew? And did you just post it recently?
Or do we have to scroll for 1,000 hours?
Do I have to scroll for 1,000,000 trillion hours, sir? Let's see. Let's see this At the Gates reaction. Corey, Vicious, Lucas. Tell him to post it again.
Post it again, buddy.
There's like...
I don't know why you said, tell him to post it again. He heard you say that.
Oh, did he?
Well, obviously, you just
Look
said
at
it.
Jay. This person loves me.
I know, I was going to try to type something, but it went too fast.
You guys never pinned me on my night. Which one?
I bet that would be, I'm not going to lie, like if you grew your own to like enjoy your own weed, I think
Enjoy
that
the
would
fruits
be.
of your labor.
Yeah, yeah. If you like it. I'm not.
I was talking to one of my buddies, and he was saying that he had a relationship with his plants.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah? Then why do you murder them and set them on fire?
No.
If
You
have
don't
such
kill
a
the whole plant by
relationship with
taking
your
a bud.
plants.
It's like stealing a kiss from someone. They're
You
still
grow
alive.
in the basement. No Shave November. Yes, Damon, you got it. No Shave November.
Is that what it is?
I want to get into my Viking heritage.
Jay, this person is the best. He points to himself.
Why not legalize it recreationally? Yeah, I'm kind of ambivalent. Out there, you can download an app on your phone that lets you choose the weed strain you want, and a dude shows up at your house with whatever you want.
Really?
Oh my gosh. Leah, good to have you, Leah. I know that you voted straight blue. That doesn't surprise me. Look at Sori. She's getting all these ideas. Hey, you're pregnant. You.
I don't want weed. You saw how angry I got when I took that. No way.
Jen.
Please.
Jen G.
It was like the worst experience of my life.
Jen G.
I didn't
Stop
vote blue.
smearing my name as a leftist, Jen. What's good, Jen? Big blue wave. We had Leah and Jen come in almost simultaneously. Two sisters of the village who are literally like completely diametrically opposed politically. My Lord. My Lord. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to do a doomsday scenario for the Republicans and a doomsday scenario for the Democrats. So, first of all, Donna Shalala. It's a terrible name. I wouldn't vote for her just because of her name. BM fan. Okay, so somebody call me. What would happen to America if the Republicans swept the House and the Senate? What would materially happen in America if that was the case? So somebody call me up and tell me what would happen if that was the case. If the Republicans swept the House and the Senate, what would happen? All right, so Leah is calling up. Leah of the Village, talk to me.
Hi, this is Lilu, actually. I don't know who this Leah of the Village bitch you're talking about is, but...
You had me for a second.
What happened to Lilu? Oh, Lilu probably doesn't know we're
Yeah.
in a different channel.
Republicans and
Lilu's here. That means I win the bet, right?
Yeah, no, you don't win the bet. Go for it.
all right. What's your doomsday scenario? What is
Okay, so-
what were you saying? What if the Republicans sweep both?
Right.
Okay, cool. Well, God, I hope that's what happens. If the Republicans sweep both, then everything that's the road we're on keeps going. So I think, especially in the Senate, if they can increase the majority, that would be great, because then they could finally. It would be great if they had the votes by themselves to do like the immigration stuff they want to do. I know Trump has been mentioning they want to do another 10% tax cut for the middle class, strictly for the middle class, because everybody bitches and complains that, you know, the tax cut they already got was primarily aimed at the wealthiest people, which I don't agree with, but whatever.
You don't think that was aimed at the most wealthy Americans?
Not at all, no.
So that tax
I
cut
think it was aimed at the corporations, sure, and the small businesses, and the corporations are the ones that you know do the hiring in this country. And small businesses, of course, do a lot of the hiring as well. But when businesses can pay lower tax rates, that gives them an incentive to move back into the country for one, and two, they can invest more back into their company. So.
Okay,
That's
so
why you've seen 6 million plus people get bonuses or raises due to those tax cuts.
so you're a trickle down economist.
If that's what you call it, sure.
That's what you just described. So if we lighten the taxation burden on corporations and small businesses, they're going to in turn recycle that money to their employees. So you'll have more bonuses and all that jazz.
That would be the hope. I don't know if they all necessarily do that, but you know, that I definitely think that so far it has helped the economy and the like the unemployment and that kind of situation. I do think it's helped in that aspect of it, yes.
Okay. BM Fan wants you to explain Kansas.
Explain Kansas?
Yeah,
What's going on in Kansas?
It is your obligation to explain Kansas, Leah.
It is my obligation to explain Kansas.
BM
Okay,
Fan,
so Kansas
BM
is really
Fan.
flat, and I don't know what the hell he wants me to explain about it.
BM Fan, call us up and tell us why Leah has to explain Kansas.
Tell him I will explain Kansas to him when he explains Antifa to me.
Oh. Kansas was an utter failure of trickle down. Call in, BM Fan. Okay, so what do you think is going to happen in real life? You think the Dems are going to get the House and that Republicans are going to get the Senate?
I think the Republicans are going to add 2 or 3 seats in the Senate, and oh God, I'm desperately hoping that they hold the House.
Okay, Fox News.
Maybe by 1 vote, or by whatever seats they have right now, which is like what, 23.
Well, according to Fox News, it's 29-30, House and Senate. But according to CNN, it is 46-45 in favor of the Republicans.
Well, that's interesting.
Well, my theory is that what happened last time during the general election was that all the leftist media was saying Hillary's going to completely annihilate Trump, and so they theorized that they lost because it ratcheted down the urgency, right?
Right.
Because leftist voters like, oh, we're kicking ass. I don't need to go out there and
It
vote.
has nothing to do with the fact that she was a terrible candidate. But
No. It
No,
was the
of course
Russians.
not.
It was the Russians in the
Right.
media.
Yeah.
So now it
Right,
look.
yeah.
Yeah. So now what it looks like is that they're calling it very, very close, so that people can have a sense of urgency. Whereas if you look at on Fox News, they're saying, even though Fox News is saying it's 29-30, they're saying that the Democrats have a 75% shot of controlling the House, which then ratchets up the urgency of a Republican voter, right? Like if you were just sitting there smoking your legalized pot, you'd be like, shit, the Democrats are gonna screw up our country. I need to go out and vote. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I think any Republican or anybody that's in favor of Trump knows, or at least, if they've watched any of his rallies lately over the past few weeks, and I've watched all of them, if they've watched any of them, they know how important it is to keep that majority in both houses. That's it's key. I mean, if you lose that, the Democrats are not going to want to work with, moving his agenda forward.
I'll tell you
over the past
something.
few years, all they've shown is they're really good at obstructing. That's about it.
I'll tell you something. That MAGA bomber really hurt the right wing movement in America. It really did. That was like one of the.
And I honestly, I don't think that was a coincidence.
That was like one of the worst timed right wing, most convenient timed left wing moments in recent history.
It's like that old saying: if it seems too good to be true, it usually is.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I know where you're.
Now that we can look at like the whole Kavanaugh thing, post, afterward, and see what happened there.
Very,
three or four of those people have been referred to the FBI for
the
lying and the false claims that they made. I mean,
hey,
it's
BM fan
101, I guess.
BM fan is gonna call in and demand that you explain Kansas. Give me a second.
Oh God. Okay. I'll only do it.
BM fan.
Hey.
I think we just lost Leah of the village. Hold on. Where'd she go? Nope, she's on hold. So you hit resume call. And then, Leah, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, so hold on.
Usually there's that button that says
I'm having a hard time working with this technology. Oh, there he is. All right. Click it. Hit add. Oh, BM fan is coming. He's coming. He's going to tell you to explain Kansas.
I have no idea what the hell he's talking about when it comes to Kansas.
BM fan.
Hey.
Okay, so you had the nerve, the unmitigated gall, the mendacity to talk about Kansas. Tell me about Kansas. You told us to explain Kansas. What is there to explain about Kansas?
Sure. So back in, I think, 2012, Kansas governor pushed a massive tax cut for the wealthy and did basically the most extensive implementation of trickle-down economics there is.
Okay.
And then it completely annihilated Kansas.
What do you mean?
Okay.
It was so bad that even the Republican Senate had to end it.
Whoa.
They had to what?
They had to.
It's like, let me. Do you mind if I read straight from an NPR article?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. In 2012, the Republican governor pushed reforms through the state legislature that dramatically cut income taxes across the board. Brownback boasted the plan would deliver a shot of adrenaline to the Kansas economy. The opposite happened. Revenue shrank, the economy grew more slowly than in neighboring states and the country as a whole. Kansas bond rating plummeted, and the state cut funding to education and infrastructure as a result. Last year, the Republican-controlled state Senate, this would be 2016, I believe, voted to roll back the tax cuts, but Kansas is still dealing with the aftermath of this experiment. State lawmakers are now seeking to close a $900 million budget gap that was caused as a result of that.
All right, so Leah, what you were articulating where the tax cuts went to corporations and small businesses, and that's a positive thing because now they're going to employ more people, doesn't seem...
Oh my God, you cannot compare tax cuts in strictly Kansas to tax cuts in the country. I'm sorry.
Why?
That's not apples to apples.
How come?
Why? This is not rocket science here. This is common sense.
This is trickle-down economics. This is your Messiah.
This is my Messiah. Oh my God,
your Messiah.
Here. This is, yeah, okay.
All hail the market.
Okay, so
that's up 40% since the election. Sure.
BM fan, will you agree that economically speaking, Trump has had a good effect on the country? No.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
If you look at the economy, it has just been following the same path of Obama. It hasn't really changed.
So Obama...
I really would like some of whatever it is you're smoking.
I mean, let's do some Googling. Let's look up the Dow Jones average over the past 10 years or so.
Hold on.
Yep.
So are you saying that none of Trump's actions had anything to do with why the economy is doing so well right now?
I mean, the tax cuts obviously benefit Wall Street and the people who really benefit from the stock market and whatnot, but that doesn't really help the average person. No.
Well, doesn't that help unemployment?
Okay. Well, does doubling the standard tax deduction help the average person?
The average tax person did not get much out of any of this. What did help was people like Bezos and others.
Those people that are making $25,000 or less, that are, instead of having their first $6,500 income tax-free, next year it's going to be their first $13,000 is going to be tax-free. So they're going to be paying a lower tax rate on less taxes.
I mean,
you don't think
that's beneficial to them, but the reality is that the actual rich people got way more. To the point that the tax cut may as well not even really been worth it.
Do you think...
Because the result is we're at what is it, the deficit. How much these tax cuts raise the deficit?
Okay, hold on. BM fan, are you saying that CNBC is a right-wing outlet?
No.
CNBC is not a right-wing outlet. Okay, let me read something to you.
CNBC is one of the most liberal.
Okay, let me read something to you, BM fan. This was from September, very recent, 2018.
Okay.
Trump has set economic growth on fire. Here's how he did it. President Donald Trump presides over an administration that has seen an enormous level of controversy that could overshadow a burgeoning economy. He has delivered on promises to cut taxes and regulations and promote activity through more aggressive government spending.
Okay.
Critics believe that it won't last because the fiscal stimulus is aimed at only near-term growth. The results, though, have been impressive. A surge in company profits and near record levels of optimism from consumers and businesses, which is, of course, Wall Street. I'm translating there.
Yes, yeah.
So a leftist outpost, BM fan, is crediting...
But none of that
Can you let me finish the sentence, my brother?
Okay.
Let me finish the sentence.
Well, it doesn't. That's just GDP. That doesn't actually help the average person.
3.7.
It's my show. BM fan, is it because I'm black? Cause you keep interrupting me.
Oh my God, you're killing me here.
Continue.
Okay, let me just say my thingy-majig, okay, and then you guys can go back to jihad. So a left-wing outpost, and BM fan,
is not left-wing.
Hold on.
What are we talking about?
Hold on. Give me a second here, okay? Last time I did a fireside, I don't know if you were here, but I criticized Trump extensively. I pretty much put 83% of the blame of the synagogue shooting on him, right? So you know I'm not a Trumpist. However,
sure.
I traffic in facts. Here are the facts. CNBC is crediting Trump with deregulation and other things that are boosting the economy. And the only criticism they have is that it's not going to last long enough. They're not saying though that Trump just inherited Obama's awesome economy. They're saying that because Trump did, radical right-wing laissez-faire free market capitalist actions at the executive level, it has helped our economy.
I would disagree because it hasn't helped the economy. It's helped GDP, but GDP doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't do anything for you.
So, but my
all those 6 million people that got a raise or a bonus due to the tax cuts, those are just
yes, and those same people who then all got laid off.
No, it's not only isolating the GDP, bruh. I mean, look, when you were talking about Kansas, when you were talking about Kansas, I mean, I agree with you. The facts are there, but we're using the same methodology, and CNBC has to admit that Trump is. I
mean, generally, you can say yes, the quote unquote economy is doing good, but the reality is that a lot of people are not doing good.
Well, yeah, but
the richest people are doing fantastic right now. They're having a ball. But the average person, of course, they're not feeling the effects of this economy.
Okay,
And you think the average person was doing better under Obama?
I would say they're probably about the same. I mean, yes, this tax cut did, give people a little more money or whatever, but it's not nearly enough to be worth this level of trickle down that we're doing right now. No.
How can you say that GDP isn't the indicator of a good economy?
Oh, it absolutely is not.
Okay,
It absolutely is not.
Okay, what let me ask this. Is unemployment a good indicator of the economy?
It varies.
Say again?
Because having super low unemployment is actually bad.
Okay, has Trump had a good effect on our unemployment rate?
Hang on.
Oh my God.
I mean, BM fan, come on, bruh. Is that a question? I mean, what I'm seeing in this article is what they're saying is his effects have had a good impact, but that in the middle of 2019, it's going to peter out. So their argument is not that Trump inherited a good economy from Obama. What they're saying is it's a short-term solution.
But that's he absolutely did. That's what I'm saying. So as I was saying, if we look at, say, the Dow Jones and we look at Wall Street has been making record highs ever since Obama.
No, what? Hold on.
Yes.
The unemployment rate is 3.9%, just 0.1 of a percentage point above the lowest level since 1969.
Yes.
It was like close to 50 years ago, if I can do my math.
Okay. And what are wages?
Well, hold on for a second.
They're growing the fastest they have in the past 10 years.
So the
they're also keeping up with inflation, so it means absolutely nothing.
Well, BM fan, hold on, bruh. Because the wages, Obama had 8 years.
Antifa's got an answer for everything.
No, you don't. Hold on, BM, hold on. I'm quoting something right now. So a couple things. Number one, you made the argument that Trump just inherited a good economy from Obama. So I want you to source me an economist that will agree with you and get me the source, because I can post right now. Basically what you said about Kansas, right? You quoted the NPR article. There's a person attached to it. We gave it to you, right? Leah surrendered that point. I mean, her rebuttal was that they're not an apples to apples correlation. I disagreed with her. But this is curious to me because it's clear that unemployment has been the lowest it's been in almost 50 years. And now you're switching the goalposts and talking about wages. Well, Obama didn't do a damn thing about wages either, right?
Hell no, he didn't.
Right?
I'll say I actually do not know.
No, So if you don't know that Obama did anything with wages, how could you then make the argument that we inherited a good economy from Obama? I mean, that's a pretty basic fact point that you don't know. So how could you make that correlation then?
Hang on, I'm trying to read. What'd you say again?
Obama, the first president to not hit 3% GDP growth for a year.
Okay.
It seems to me
They were
that
told 2% is the new normal.
unemployment was up higher during Obama. GDP was lower. Trump came in, deregulated stuff, and let the free market do what it's supposed. And you know I'm not a complete capitalist.
Yeah.
But in this particular area, he did his thing, man. You got to give him his props.
I mean, but it doesn't benefit.
I heard a
Like I said,
wonderful
we're
statistic that
largely
this morning
talking
that-
about GDP. GDP is a very rough indicator of the economy.
And we also are talking about unemployment, which is the lowest it's been in 50 years, which is half a century.
Still doesn't explain much.
The economy in total, while still not in breakout mode, has grown by $1.4 trillion through the second quarter. The same time period for Obama saw a gain of just $481 billion, or a third of Trump's total. I mean, what can you do with that, bruh?
You can play Seven Dust Denial for him if you want.
Would you like this article that says how having a actually higher unemployment is actually good for the economy?
Oh, having high unemployment. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Right,
no.
that's
Oh, hold
why
on.
freaking immigrants want to come here, right?
Hey, stop. We're not gonna dehumanize anybody. Listen, BM fan.
Just saying.
BM fan. I'm gonna let you read your article. I'm gonna let you source it, and I appreciate you for sourcing it. But are you telling us, and you're telling everybody in Middle America, that it's bad that the unemployment has been the lowest it's been in 50 years?
I'm saying it doesn't matter because it's not really helping anyone.
Having a job doesn't help
Helping
anyone.
the 4.5 million people that have a job now.
It's not enough.
I know it's not enough. It's not perfect, but it's better than not having a job, isn't it?
But is it really worth doing all of those tax cuts?
Yes, if it can employ people. What are you talking about?
No.
No. So we should have them unemployed.
I'm saying that giving people like Jeff Bezos and all of these wealthy billionaires all that extra money was not worth the tiny benefits that we've obtained.
What the hell are you? How can it be a tiny benefit that we've got the lowest unemployment rate in 50 years, BM fan?
Great question.
How is that a tiny benefit? $1.4 trillion dollars of economic growth. GDP is higher. Unemployment's low.
But once again, none of that really means anything. Like, you keep saying GDP. GDP is irrelevant. That's what I keep trying to tell you.
Okay, so GDP is irrelevant, and then unemployment is good when it's high.
I'm saying unemployment is relatively as pointless as GDP is.
Tell me what the actual metric is that will measure whether or not we're in a good economy.
Wages.
Wages.
And in low inflation. Or wages going higher than inflation.
Hey, who increased the inflation over the last decade?
I mean, inflation's just been consistently going up.
What did Obamacare do to our economy?
Oh my God. Decimated healthcare.
I mean, healthcare was always crap.
What?
Yeah, well, it doesn't.
I mean,
healthcare. Hey, we have 20 more people on healthcare because we're forcing them to pay for it. Let alone they can't afford to freaking use it.
Healthcare was on its way, or before Obamacare. Okay, healthcare was already crap. It was just spiraling out of control already. Okay.
We agree with that.
Do you agree with that or no?
No, that's indisputable fact.
Because you weren't paying for it.
No, Leah, that's indisputable fact. Healthcare was a disaster. We know that.
Like, healthcare was a disaster before Obamacare. That's why they did Obamacare. The problem with Obamacare was it was too Republican.
It wasn't socialist enough. Okay.
Obamacare was what? It was a Heritage Foundation thing.
Right. No, you're right. You're right. Hold on. Let me read something else. The most recent reading from the National Federation of Independent Business was the second highest in history, dating back 45 years. Small business owners reported aggressive hiring plans, the only obstacle to which has been a dearth of labor supply. The end of June saw 6.7 million job openings and just 6.7 million Americans classified as unemployed, an unprecedented imbalance. We got more jobs available than people that we can pick up to
We
work.
have people to fill them. Right, exactly. That's the first time that's happened.
This is CNBC. This is not Fox. Is that it? Let me ask you a question, BM. Is it a good indicator of an economy that small businesses, not the nasty capitalist corporations, small businesses are publishing aggressive hiring plans? Is that good or bad?
I mean, sure, that's good.
Okay, so then Trump has had a good effect on the economy then.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Okay.
I still think it's not nearly good enough to the point that we've incurred the hits that we have.
Okay.
Well, considering he's only been there for 2 years, I'd say it's definitely a step in the right direction.
Well, what hits are we talking about here? Read me
like I said, look. Okay, well, like what did our debt just hit?
I don't know.
No idea. 21 trillion? I don't know. I know Obama added more to the debt than all previous presidents combined, but you know, that's neither here nor there.
Oh, you have not read things clearly.
Right? Yeah. No, I don't know how to read.
We got a $1.5 trillion tax reform plan. I don't know, BM fan. I feel like you're not being objective here. Do me a favor. Read me.
Let's see. This is a Reuters article here.
Okay. Okay, what are we looking at?
All right, hang on. I'm still reading.
But what are we trying to find here?
I'm trying to find the actual, just how much debt these tax cuts are causing.
Well, I mean, people are working, bruh.
But they're not overriding the tax cuts. They're not overriding the debt. That's the problem.
How do you even know that? You don't even have the data on hand.
That's why I'm looking it up right now.
Well, how? But don't you see you're putting the cart before the horse? You're saying you're.
I'm just not finding them right.
BM fan, you're saying so you don't have the data point then.
Hang on, I'm finding it.
Okay, so stop right there. So you're saying that the gains that we've gotten that you had to concede to are not worth what cost us to put in debt. But now you've just admitted you don't even know how much debt we're in. So how could you even make that statement?
Hang on. Okay, here's a CNBC article here. Trump, the numbers are in. Trump's tax cut didn't reduce the deficit despite many promises. He proposed a $10 trillion tax cut, far larger than any Republican rivals. Yada yada
It's been
yada.
in effect for what?
Hold on. Let him finish, Leah. Let him finish.
The 2018 deficit swelled to $779 billion, the highest in 6 years, a 17% increase over 2017.
Okay. But I got a $1.6 trillion tax cut, and I got $1 trillion going into the economy. So isn't that going to take care of itself over time? Because you just said that it's not worth the cost.
Hang on.
BM fan.
Federal spending as a share of the economy fell. Revenue fell even more. Corporate tax receipts plummeting 31%. Forecast the deficit hitting $981 billion in 2019 and exceeding $1 trillion every year after that.
Maybe you should go do your research and then come back and we'll have a conversation about that.
Well, I'm just doing basic math. If you've got $500 billion in a deficit, but you got 1.4 trillion going into the economy, doesn't that take care of itself?
Yes.
Well, I'm asking BM fan.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Are you engaging with me at all here, BM fan?
I'm just trying to find articles right now.
Okay.
Because I can't, I'm not typing in the right things, I guess, here.
All right. Look, when Trump says inflammatory things that then activate insane people to go do terrible things, I see that right-wing people have a very difficult time of holding him accountable. But when Trump does things good, you're the exception, I agree. But when Trump does good things for the economy that are plain as day, I don't understand. It's math. You can't really argue with math, BM fan. I just think that your disdain for the free market and capitalism is clouding your interpretation of what's happening. I mean, is that possible, BM fan?
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, I think that that's what's happening, bruv. Because
I mean, all I can really say is I know one thing for sure. I would rather have the economy we have now than the economy we had 4 years ago.
well, I agree. I agree. I don't see how anybody could argue that. You got more people working.
Yeah.
You know, BM fan, I'm a hiring manager. So I hire people. So it's a beautiful thing to be able to put applications out there and hire people. We're going right now. Our company is not attacking, but we're targeting folks in the Midwest who don't have jobs and things like that. And we're going to be able to get them working. That's a good feeling, my guy. I've also had to tell people they don't have their jobs anymore en masse. And I'll tell you, that sucks. That's one of the worst feelings in the world, my dude. So when I hear that, you know, people have aggressive hiring plans, I know for a fact because I just literally was on a call 3 hours ago talking about hiring plans. And it's not just, this is the other thing that you got to realize. When you start talking about hiring people, you need people to manage those people. So if I say I'm going to hire, we're going to hire 400 people. You can't hire 400 minimum wage workers. You have to hire, 20, 30 people a pop and then put a manager over them and put a manager over that guy. So not all these people are only going to be making minimum wage, BM fan. Some of these people are going to have careers that are going to, be able to help them take care of their families. I just don't understand how... I just don't understand. I want you to go back to that article and show me, because you said something to the effect of you have found an article that says that having too low of an unemployment rate is actually bad.
Where was that?
While he's looking that up, Senate, this is according, I'm going to do Fox News, I'm going to do CNN. According to Fox News, it's 46-40 for a red Senate. And according to Fox News, it's 56-50 for a red House. What's interesting is that they are projecting that the Democrats have a 79% chance of winning the House, even though the Republicans are up by 6 seats. Mm-hmm. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going over to CNN, okay? CNN has it 65-61 for a red House, 42-36 for a red Senate.
Excellent.
You sound like such a bad guy. Excellent. Okay.
To get back to your doomsday scenario, we never got around to.
No, hold on.
Take that house.
Hold on. One of the smartest villagers is gonna get on the line. I'm gonna add Zonia here, and Zonia is gonna.
Oh, I was expecting Ben Webb.
No, Ben Webb. Ben Webb, I don't think knows about the.
I was kidding.
The channel yet. Here's mystery. I don't want these logic-defying Dems anywhere. Zonia.
Hey guys. Hey.
Okay, so Zonia, you heard the back and forth Jihad. What were you calling for?
They're both wrong. First of all.
We're both wrong. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and in some cases, both right. Well, there are a few areas to touch up on.
Van was talking about how with wages going up and inflation going up, one of the problems that you have there is you have what's considered to be flat wages, because even though you're making more numbers in dollars, you're actually spending more numbers in dollars just to live because everything costs more. So if your rise of income is matching or less than the rise of inflation, then you're either at a flat income or a declining income. And so that needs to be factored in. Inflation has been drastically on the rise. Everything is getting more expensive everywhere. And housing is getting more and more difficult to obtain for people, not just for buying, but for renting. So these are things that you have to factor in. One of the other things that was mentioned is that the GDP is not a good gauge of how well the economy is doing. Well, there's two parts to that. It's a gauge of how well the economy is doing as compared to the rest of the world. That's what the GDP is. So your GDP really doesn't have anything to do with how well your people are doing in your country. If you take a look at Saudi Arabia's GDP is excellent, but that's their gauge as how well their economy is doing as compared to the world economy. But their people are suffering, and their people are starving at times. They've got a large population of extremely impoverished people. So you have to factor that in as well. Now, one thing that does tie in well is GDP versus potential deficit impact, right? So if your deficit, if you're not paying it down and it's growing, but at the same time your GDP is growing, your deficit isn't really a big threat because your GDP is basically positioning you for a lot of strength in the world economy, and your debt that you owe in your deficit is against the world economy. So you have to factor that in too.
What about unemployment?
So unemployment is, we're actually in a good situation right now. A lot of jobs have been created. The problem that we have right now, and this is something that I've been feeling, I might be cutting out. I've got low signal.
No, I hear you. Keep going.
The problem that I've been feeling is, so I'm invested in the stock market, and I'm very active in the stock market, and we just went through a major stock market correction, and as the correction happened, hiring slowed down. Now, hiring slows down, of course, at the end of the year, but it slowed down more than we expected it to because of the market correction that just happened a week ago. And now a lot of people involved in the market are worried that there's going to be an even bigger correction because we have such an inflated economy.
So the economy is growing too fast.
It's inflating too fast. It's growing well, so we've got some good growth, but there's so much inflation underneath it all that if things correct too aggressively, all those jobs are going to go away. People are going to get laid off. So those millions of people that were hired, well, not anymore. They're going to be unemployed.
So who's handling that? The Fed? Are we depending on the Fed to regulate that?
We stripped out all those rules that we created back in 2008 and 2009. So they're all unregulated and back to the way they were pre-last crash.
Yeah.
So there's no regulation of it. Now you can go back, you can do your, risky trading with, with weak securities, and we're all back kind of in the same spot. We're giving loans to people who can't pay them back. We have people charging way too much for rent and for housing, and that's going to, as soon as people start getting laid off, they're going to default on that, and then all that is going to collapse. Then another thing I wanted to go and debunk.
Well, hold on for a second, Sonia. Stay there. If people are working, if people have jobs, your fear is because of deregulation, they're going to make unsound business decisions.
We're already making unsound trade decisions in Wall Street. That's been going on now for the past year.
No, but when you talk about the 2008 bubble, though, there is a Wall Street element, and then there's also the element of I make $32K a year. I'm gonna go buy that $350,000 house.
Yeah, but we were doing great at that time in 2007 as well. The economy was on the rise. People were buying houses, and it was sharp spikes. And then as soon as we hit a little bit of a ripple in the market, everything kind of collapsed because people were not able to keep up with the inflation of the economy. So they defaulted on their loans, defaulted on their rent.
Yeah, but
companies, weren't able to pay back their loans that they were on as well.
Yep.
They laid off all their employees, et cetera, and it created this crash that happened
well,
in early 2000.
my question is it the government's responsibility to tell a person who's only making $32K, no, you can't take out a $350K loan? Is that the government's responsibility?
No, it is not. But it is the government's responsibility to make sure that the companies that have a profound impact on the stability of our economy are not doing risky things, like not going and giving a loan that can't possibly be paid back to someone, giving a loan to someone that they can't possibly pay back on paper. So that's what led to the crash. It was one of the many elements that led to it.
Well,
inflation was the ultimate bottoming out problem that we had, because in an underinflated economy, you can survive those ripples, right? So if we have blips in our economy, you can survive them because you're not running at the ragged edge of what you can possibly sustain in the way of what you can pay for, what your outstanding debts and bills are, et cetera.
Wait a second, Zonia. Wait a second, because I think you just did some sleight of hand here. I said, is it the government's role to regulate what a private citizen does with an unsound business decision? You said no. But then you said it's their role to hold the bank accountable for giving that irresponsible citizen that loan. Isn't that practically the exact same thing? How's that different?
Well, here's the thing. You can regulate the standards by which companies make certain decisions that can drastically impact the economy, right? But if you go and you just tell people, hey, because historically black people have been regulated out of owning homes by the government. That's something that's happened in many cases throughout very many states in the country.
Right. That's why I'm extremely skeptical of government regulation.
Yeah. So that's a way that people have regulated people and the ability of people to do things. And if you get into the habit of regulating too much around that kind of decision making, it can create systemic pits that people fall into and can't get out of.
Okay.
But if you can say within reason, hey, make sure that it's at least feasible that they can pay it back, that it doesn't require a miracle for them to pay it back, that's not out of reason, I would argue. But right now we're completely deregulated, so we're probably going to have the same problem again.
Well, we're not completely deregulated. He didn't completely deregulate. I mean, I was listening to Shapiro 2 days ago, and he was complaining that there was still a whole bunch of deregulation to do. So we're not completely deregulated. But
when it comes to what you can trade in the way of securities, we are completely deregulated right now.
Well, in that particular context, yes. But I mean, that isn't. I mean, where is the responsibility of the individual consumer to make those sound business decisions?
Well, that would be great, but we don't really educate people very well, so
all right.
That's not working.
So you're saying it'd be great if we could handle the responsibility of free trade.
It would be great if we could, yeah. But
all right.
Unfortunately, free trade does create, power concentrations. So that's what we have a lot of right now. Everything is kind of ruled by a handful of very large banks, and they don't really care a lot about whether or not the economy is entirely successful. They care about whether or not they're making money off of either the success or failure of the economy. So when you look at things like The Big Short, a ton of money was made off the failure of the economy.
Yeah. So give me.
You really need to have some sort of regulation in there that says you can't create this kind of bubble economy that has the risk of the bulk of the people.
Give me this.
Right? You gotta, where only a few thousand people at the top benefit and the rest of the people fail.
Zonia, give me your final answer as to whether or not, well, I want two questions. Has Trump had a good effect on the economy, at least in the short term, true or false?
Here's where my next debunk is. We don't truly understand what the impact is, and now this is the way it goes with every single president. No matter what, the bulk of your first term, the economy is from the previous president. Same goes for Barack Obama. And if you take a look at what the economists were saying when Obama came in and the economy was rising, they were saying, oh, but that's George W. Bush's economy. And when George W. Bush came in, they were saying, oh, no, that's Clinton's economy. And it goes that way the whole way back until your policies have actually bore fruit. That doesn't really happen for a few years.
Well, Obama had 8 years though, Zonia.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So we've got 2 years of Trump. You're looking at least 2 years before you get to see the effects of Trump's policies on the economy.
Yeah, but
right?
Are you saying that Trump's deregulation has had nothing to do with the economic spike in the short term?
It did have a sort of an economic spike. However, we did have that market correction. So we're back down to where we were before his changes went into effect. So just last week, the entire market corrected itself. The Dow Jones went back down, NASDAQ went back down, and everything's back to where it was before all those changes went into effect. So yeah, it was either Obama's or Trump's didn't do anything. There was some intermediary inflation with publicly traded corporations because the tax cuts that my company got, they did a stock buyback so they could hold more of their stock that allowed them to inflate the price. So the value of the stock went up, spiked. But then when the market corrected, everything went back to normal. So we're back to where we were.
So your perspective on Trump is that it's too early to call either way.
Yeah, you can't really call it, and historically that's always been the case with every president in their first 2 to 3 years.
Well, not two-term.
Their economic policies until toward the end of their first term.
Not two-term presidents. If you're coming in after a two-term president, it's different than a one-term president.
Toward the end of their first term.
Yeah.
So yeah, with two-term presidents, obviously they're carrying their own economy at that point, but you always have to wait for it. Normally, it used to be that it took an entire term. That was back in the 80s. In the 90s, it started becoming about a 3-year period. We're coming closer to 2-year periods, and the reason for that is because there's more participation in the stock market. So
right.
The ripples of effect are a little bit more immediate than they were before, and with every year, as more people contribute to the stock market, the ripples become narrower and narrower, and we feel the effect of economic changes more immediately.
So Obama had 4 of those cycles.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't very impressed with him economically, Zonia.
No, I wasn't impressed with Obama either economically. So part of the problem with Obama was that he carried the Bush bailout along with his first term, and so we shelled out $800 billion the first time around into Wall Street to try and save the banks, and then we shelled out an additional, what was it, $1.5 trillion after that. So that, as it was, we took an economic hit. And Obama's whole thing was, hey, we're going to be invested in the banks now. No, we're not invested in the banks. The country isn't making any money off of the big banks.
Right. So the idea then that Trump is simply enjoying Obama's success is just silly then. That's a dumb argument. What you're saying is there is no real success after the market correction, is what you're saying.
No, there really isn't.
That's your argument.
Yeah, and
Okay. BM fan.
Yep.
I think we just lost. Leah, are you there?
I'm here, yeah.
Hold on. I gotta call Zonia for one more thing. Okay, so Zonia, are you still on?
I'm here.
Zonia, low unemployment, is that good or bad? Zonia?
I think Zonia is the one that cut out.
She said she got disconnected. Zonia, type in the thing or call back. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna call her. One more thing. Thank you guys for being patient.
Of course.
here we go.
Zonia, you back?
Yeah.
Low unemployment. If Trump is able to keep the sub 4% unemployment rate throughout his entire presidency, is that good or bad?
That would be good. The argument that higher unemployment is better for the economy is based on a number of different ways of looking at economics, and I don't necessarily agree with it. Low unemployment is really good, but there's one thing to also keep in mind. I don't have the source information in front of me. I'd have to look it up. But last year, at the end of last year, when they were doing the unemployment numbers, the one thing that they didn't factor in that was really important was how many people left the job market, gave up, right? So there were a lot of economists that were saying that many people who were continually unable to get employed after the 2008-2009 collapse gave up and left the job market and have been leaving the job market little by little from 2012 until 2018, or I guess end of last year, 2017. So, and that wasn't factored in, and economists were saying, hey, you need to subtract them from the total count in order for the unemployment numbers to accurately reflect the current economy.
Well, when you say they left the economy, what do you mean? They're just hanging out on state assistance now?
Some have. Some have left the country, but yeah, many have been hanging out on public assistance or whatever form they have in their particular region. One example of this are all the people who were, Trump made a lot of noise about the coal industry and getting coal jobs back and various other types of blue-collar labor where people had been struggling with unable to get jobs and sustain themselves since the collapse. And they haven't gotten their jobs back. So,
who, the coal people?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just Trump jumping on Hillary's ridiculously stupid, I'm going to destroy coal. Some of the stuff that she...
put the coal miners out of business.
Yeah. That but it's the Russians. The Russians are the reason. Okay, so we agree. An unemployment rate is good. Having a low unemployment rate is good.
Mm-hmm.
That's
and
just.
So far, we're doing all right with that. But if with the rumblings that I'm hearing in the stock market economist realm, it's looking like we're going to have another more serious correction. And when that happens, lots of people are going to get laid off because that's what happens when the major market corrections happen on a heavily inflated economy.
This is just an anecdote, but I have actually been hearing quite a few people over the last week reporting layoffs. Anecdotally.
Well, I'm telling you anecdotally that we're set to hire a bunch of people.
Here's something interesting, Vin. When the 2009 crash happened, I was working at a company that I think we hired 400 or so people in the 6 months leading up to January of 2009. And at the first business day of the year, they laid off 90% 90 people that day, and they continued laying people off in chunks for all the way up until I think it was March of 2009. I got laid off late February of 2009 from that company. And, you know, we had hired some ungodly number of people and then laid them all off. And that's what happens in that economy. A lot of people are not paying attention to it because the people at the top of the businesses who actually know what's going on and have their finger on the pulse of the economy, they're not going to say anything about it, because if they do, that shakes faith in the company. They don't want their employees to go and spread rumors about it, etc. So when these things happen, all the employees are surprised by it. The executives weren't surprised by it, but the employees are, because they're like, wait a minute, we were just hiring a whole bunch of people and now we're laying them all off.
Right.
And that's the way it works. It happened with me. It happened with a lot of people that I know at the time.
Yeah, that was 2008-9 was an interesting set of years, for sure.
Yeah, and a lot of people are talking about how we're moving in the same direction again. So that's something to keep in mind. As much as you can say, hey, it looks good right now, there are a lot of experts who are saying, yeah, but it's also looking really shaky. You know, the supports of this economy are looking iffy.
Yeah, but how much of that is just the trauma of not wanting to be too optimistic because of what happened about, in 2008, about a decade ago?
Yeah, I couldn't really do more than speculate on that. But all I know is I've seen the patterns, and I'm feeling similar buildup to the previous patterns.
Good. All right. Well, that's not good, but you gave a very well-balanced, nonpartisan, objective view. You also revealed yourself, Zonia, to be a filthy capitalist, because you're very well versed in the stock market, and you are Wall Street.
Oh, for sure.
I never claimed I wasn't, but I try to achieve a balance, at least in that, to some regard, with some regard. But when it comes down to it, at the same time, I do want to make money and have a comfortable retirement.
Mm-hmm. The truth comes out. BM fan, we need to tax her, don't we? We need to tax the hell out of her, don't we, BM fan?
Depends what her annual is.
She's in Silicon Valley, BM fan. Do the math.
I ain't saying shit.
Are you in like the top? You in the 1%?
Not saying shit.
Don't say nothing, Zonia. Fear.
1% is what? 500, I think.
That's about right now. Yeah, it is shrinking though. So pretty soon that'll be $1 million a year, something like that for the top 1%. Right. But yeah, no, I do well. That's good for me. However, these tax cuts, to back up BM fan, what you were saying earlier. Yeah, I'm benefiting from these tax cuts a lot more than a lot of other people I know.
Well, yeah, you're benefiting a lot more, but that doesn't mean other people are not benefiting. It just means that you're benefiting more.
Well, it depends. So if you are under, what was it? I think if you're making fewer than 70,000 in a year, you are going to pay more in your wage taxes this time around than you'll get back on your tax cut, on your income tax cut. So your wage taxes will go up just enough to where you'll spend, I think they were saying that at $70,000, you would be paying about $1,500 more per year. So whatever you saved, you're still paying $1,500 more.
What do you say to that, Leah?
So something to keep in mind.
I'm going to be making a lot more money. For sure, yeah. I have heard that stat.
So what really benefits people on tax cuts, this is something I've tried to take advantage of recently, and yes, you can call me evil if you want, but I don't want to just shell out money for no good reason. People who benefit from this a lot are people who do what we call an I-9 corp to corp. They're not a W-2 employee. They're not getting a regular W-2 paycheck. They do an I-9 with their company, like executives do that, etc. And they have their own corporation that is bridged with that company for payouts, and they're not making a wage, so they don't pay any taxes and wages. So they don't have to, people who do that, which are typically executives, they don't have to shell out these wage taxes, so they get all the benefit. So that's why a lot of these tax cuts are structured in a way to make sure that people who work as a corporation or as a big business type person, like a big executive, they don't have to deal with the tax burden that all the wage makers, wage earners do. And so what happens is you take the taxes out of the wage earners to pay for the cuts to those who go corp to corp.
Whoa.
And that's something I've been structuring for the past couple of years now. I've built a corporation for myself, and little by little I've been running all of my investments into the corporation as a holdings company. And then what I do is I choose, depending on which benefits me more, whether or not I want to do a pass-through or run the normal corporate tax scheme. And so now the corporate tax rate has dropped down to 21%, so I don't do pass-through anymore because I'm taxed at 39%.
Whoa, Zonia.
Corporate tax is 21%.
I need you to consult. I need you to consult with me. Hey, what are you doing?
What's happening?
So
I need you to consult with me, Zonia.
If you recall back during the 2008 election, when Romney's income was being disputed and his taxes were being disputed, and they were showing that he had only paid 13% in taxes, the reason why is because he's not making any wages. So all he ever gets taxed on are on, some small things here and there. Like he gets, most of his gains are going to be capital gains, or they're going to be dividends. And so he's going to pay capital gains taxes, which are way lower, especially if your wage income is zero, then you're at the bottom rung of capital gains taxes, which is like 10 to 15%. So
unbelievable.
That's the way the system works. So when people go and say, hey, we're going to do tax cuts, it's like, yeah, we're going to do tax cuts for all the people who have the money, the knowledge, and the CPAs to game the system, and we're going to leave their stuff alone, and we're going to make sure that all the people who are wage earners pay for those tax cuts.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, we got to talk.
It takes a bit of capital to get started doing this, because you got to pay for the upkeep of a corporation and pay a CPA to do all the books for you, because there's no way that, I'm going to keep up with all those books without screwing something up, getting audited, and then landing in jail.
We'd bail you out. We'd have a village collective. Bail out our rich friend.
The whole village shows up at the jail.
BM fan will show up.
I just realized that with Trump coming in and with the plan that he had for the tax plan to drop the corporate tax rate from 35 to 21%, well, at the time he was saying 15%, I was like, well, I better get in on this. Because, it just might as well take advantage of it while I can. And so I started setting up that corporation 2 years ago and started selling my holdings off to the corporation that I own.
Brilliant. Okay, Zonia, you're gonna have to call back and that other discussion we're supposed to have. I forgot the subject matter.
There are like at least 2 of them that we're backlogged on now.
Right. We will.
We're going to talk about the "I'm not racist" statement, and we're going to talk about what was it? I was talking about the injustice that people feel when they leave Christianity.
Yeah, it's a very interesting discussion for sure. Okay. Yeah. All right, BM fan, do you have any last words about the economy?
I think Zonia expressed a lot of the things that I was kind of expressing. Obviously, significantly better, more intelligent manner. But yeah, I pretty much agree with most of the things she said.
So you're retracting that higher unemployment is good for the economy.
I did see one guy post in the chat earlier regarding that unemployment thing, kind of saying that the way that the guy said it in the chat was, you can have hire like 20 part-timers as opposed to having like 5 full-timers.
Yeah, there are a couple different ways of looking at that. If you want, we can dig into that. I don't know how much time you guys got.
Go ahead.
I'm curious to hear.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so I used to work with a guy who had that belief. He was a libertarian, actually, and he felt that an economy where you had a higher unemployment rate had a couple of benefits. One, you can cycle through. So companies have the ability to hire more people, first of all. There's more people in the pool, right? And you can cycle through people a little more readily. It gives you the ability for companies to kind of spring up, hire people, get what they need done, and allow the pool to be replenished. And so you basically have what's called, I forget the term for it. There's a name for it where it's like employment flexibility or pool. I don't remember. There's a term for it, so that you always have room to grow the economy as long as that there are more people available and ready to work. Like right now, one of the problems we have in tech is that we have difficulty hiring people. One of the reasons why we're a big supporter of using the H-1B is because we need a bigger pool of people to pull from. There aren't 80 million engineers in the world or in the U.S. that are qualified to do these jobs. So we need a bigger pool to pull from. So we need to find people that are available, and we need to reach out beyond our borders to do that, to find qualified candidates. So we have to reach into India, China, etc. And when the economy is doing as well as it is right now, we have a lot of difficulty finding those people because they're all hired and they're all situated fairly well. They're making decent income and they don't want to move. And so our ability to grow our products becomes a little bit stagnant. We're pressured. We're putting more stress on the employees. You got to work longer hours, harder, crank out more results because we don't have the people we need to do it. And we're feeling that right now in my company. So that's one of the major arguments for having a higher unemployment, a number of unemployed people per capita, depending on your industry.
So
that's probably the most convincing argument that I have heard. But at the same time, you kind of want to make sure that people aren't sitting stagnant for a long time as well.
Right. Let the corporation solve their own problem. Don't have a bunch of people unemployed so that you can have a better pool. What the hell?
Right.
That's such a corporatist position to hold, BM Fan. I'm surprised.
Yeah, BM Fan, did you hear any other approach to that? Because I've heard people use other types of arguments for that. The one I just gave is the one that was the most convincing that I had heard, and I've heard most often.
I'm sure I have. The problem is, I can't, bring up anything concrete.
Okay, so one last thing, Zonia.
I'll admit, I'm not really, big into economics and whatnot.
That's all right. That's why we got Zonia.
I'm not huge into it, but I'm involved in the economy, so I'm forced to pay attention to it, even though I'm not a fan of.
This is what happens when you're a capitalist pig. So according to Fox News, the Dems have already taken the House.
No, they're projecting that they're going to win.
Yes, Fox. It says Dems take House. Fox News projects Democrat. They got Feinstein there. They got Maxine Waters. God Almighty.
That's all we need.
they need some youth, man. Golly. And it says Fox News projects Democrats will capture House of Representatives. So what do you guys think that's going to do? Practically speaking.
Oh my God.
Are you afraid? Are you afraid, Leah?
I don't think it's going to do anything good. Let's just put it that way.
What about you, BM Fan? Do you think it's going to have any real effect on us?
I don't think it's going to benefit the country.
I mean, if we take the House?
Well, I'm not on your team. I'm not on Leah's team either.
I mean, it varies. Obviously, like it's a good thing, obviously, but the question is how much of a good thing is it? And I'm not entirely sure. Unfortunately, like the people we ran for Senate were just utter trash.
They were well paid by corporations that wanted them to behave a certain way.
That's very accurate. There you go.
What about you, Zonia?
Establishment Dems who just start obviously not going to do well.
What about you, Zonia? What do you think is going to happen if the Democrats have control of the House?
I think they're going to do what they've been doing and play it safe. So they're not going to do too many aggressive liberal policy pushes. They're kind of notorious for playing it safe these past 10 years or so. And that's been a losing battle for them because there's a lot of fervor on the left for actually taking action and having candidates that people are inspired about, and that's just not happening. So we're getting a little bit of it, but the Democratic establishment still controls the party, and they're going to probably make sure that a lot of the moves are very tiny increments, if anything. So they're going to play it safe. So I think, Leah, you're probably going to be okay.
We'll see.
I mean, I'm actually legitimately
Nothing is
curious.
official yet.
Why are you so scared of Dems?
I'm not scared of Dems in particular. I'm just.
What democratic policies are you terrified of?
I'm more pro-Republican policies. The Democrats don't really have any policies running on. That's the problem.
But name some.
They don't have any. Their whole policy is hate Trump. That's it.
They do have sort of a stance these days that, hey, we're not as bad as that guy over there.
Right.
It's not a winning game.
They definitely do. I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
Which is why a lot of like the
haven't heard
establishment
any policies from them.
So it depends on which Democrat you're talking about. There are some, like Pelosi, has no policy structure of any kind other than just...
those establishment ones.
Yeah. But
Well,
you look at people like, certain individuals like Kamala Harris. She's, new
I can't stand her.
Do you know what her policies are?
I cannot stand her.
what are her policies?
I don't know what her policies are. Honestly, I don't know what her policies are. As a person, I cannot stand her.
Really? Why is that?
Her demeanor, every time I ever see her in any, Senate hearing or whatever, just her attitude and her holier-than-thou kind of,
Is it?
drives me nuts. I cannot stand her. I'm sorry.
What about someone like Tulsi Gabbard?
Chelsea Gabbard. I don't even know.
Tulsi Gabbard, Hawaii.
Yeah, she's Hawaii.
The old Hawaiian lady?
No, she isn't old. She's quite
she's young.
Oh, okay. Not familiar with her, honestly.
See, that's kind of so. I don't know about. It sounds to me like BM fan, you probably keep up with a lot of details about politics. I try and watch both sides. I don't necessarily sit in the middle. I'm more left-leaning, but I try to look at everybody's policies if I can. And from what I can tell, when it comes down to Republican or Democrat, generally the establishment really doesn't have much of in way of a policy other than make sure that we continue winning and make sure that our donors get all their money back and then some.
I mean, I'll fully agree with that. That goes for both sides.
Yeah, so when it comes down to the people that, like I just named off, as well as BM fan named off, these are people who generally try to stand up against the establishment approach, sort of. I mean, in some ways, Tulsi Gabbard and Kamala Harris both have taken money from big donors, so we don't know if we can totally trust them, but they've at least said that they don't stand for the typical traditional establishment of catering to the big donors.
Yeah,
So
but
that's why I mentioned them.
what are Kamala Harris's policies that are attractive to you, Zonia?
So she wants to implement something like Medicare for All or a single-payer healthcare program, and she wants to get money out of politics as well. So that's, at least she's paid lip service to that. We don't know about her actions just yet. So those are two really important policies for me, because I know tons of people who have had struggles throughout their life trying to get the right kind of coverage and have been turned away. And I know people who have died from cancer that wasn't treated readily enough because of the fact that they couldn't get the coverage for it initially. And I know people who have also been spent into the poorhouse paying emergency visit bills because they can't get covered, and so they just ended up spending $15,000 for an emergency room visit when they could have done a preventative healthcare thing that was a lot cheaper in the long run. And so that's important. Getting money out of politics. Currently, money controls the direction of our country, and not in a good way. Now, as a capitalist, I'd say, hey, that's great, but it's not working out to the benefit of the majority of the country. It's working out to the benefit of the upper crust. And so when you feel frustrated that your representative isn't representing you properly, that's because somebody else is telling them, hey, you got to represent me first because I paid you, buddy. So you got to come back and make sure I get my tax cuts and make sure I get all my money and make sure that my company gets your government contracts, etc. So the only thing that they really end up representing us on are the wedge issues and the fringe issues. It's like, hey, pro-life or pro-choice, or you get your guns, you don't get your guns, right? So they do the cheerleader thing to pretend that they're on your side, but when it comes down to the things that economically affect the direction of your life, your well-being, they're not representing us.
Well, they're representing you.
Well, and they're also, they may not necessarily get joy out of it, but I'm sure that they are doing just fine with the fact that the rest of us on the left and the right are just going after each other like crazy and kind of ignoring what the establishment are doing. So as long as we're distracted, picking at each other and fighting at each other, they get to continue tapping from our piggyback. That is the entire country's piggyback.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons why we're doing this, right? It's very, very small beginnings, but that's the idea. Is that I always say, who benefits from us being at each other's throats? Mm-hmm. Okay, so now that you've heard Kamala Harris's perspective on those two issues, Leah, would you agree or disagree that those are good policies?
I dislike her even more now.
You do. That's the joke, right?
No, I'm serious.
So getting money out of politics is something that you feel...
I don't buy that from her for a second. Are you kidding me?
Okay.
I don't buy that from her for a second. And the whole single payer health thing, I don't know.
Why?
I don't think that would... I don't know.
Okay, so
there's got to be a better way. That's all.
So I'm going to say to you exactly what I said to BM Finn. I think that your emotions are clouding your objectivity, Leah.
When it comes to her, that's entirely possible, and I will not be afraid to admit it.
Oh my God, that is terrible. What is going on? And both of you can vote.
I do not like her. I do not like her. Everything I've seen of her is negative. I just don't like her as a person.
I got a question for you.
All right.
Go for it.
So, Leah,
yes, dear.
What media do you watch?
What media do you think?
I'm considering conservative.
Yes.
Do you watch left-wing media at all?
I've tried to.
So, most people don't like doing this, and I totally understand why, because even I get pissed off when I watch right-wing media, but I watch them both.
I'm totally watching both, and I can't, because one's obviously, oh my God, it's terrible.
Well, I watch them both, and I see a lot of things that are
on both sides where they try and color situations. So like they present on the right wing, they'll present clips of people on the left wing in a manner that depicts them in their worst possible moments that everybody has. But they'll make sure that the only picture you get is the worst possible one. And the left wing does the exact same thing.
I'm not saying the only impressions I've gotten from her are from right-wing media. I'm talking about from Senate hearings where I've watched the entire hearing. I've watched every single person ask their questions of whoever it was. And for some reason, she is always the one that stands out as being condescending, rude, and just her attitude in general. It's just, I don't like it.
Are you talking about... Are you talking about the Kavanaugh thing?
Not just that, no. I mean, the way she behaved in that was terrible, yes. But, I mean, beyond that, there's multiple hearings I've seen her in, even where she was interviewing when Kirstjen Nielsen was being confirmed for DHS secretary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
I see her who was like pro-torture.
Which one?
Wasn't that the person that was like pro-torture?
No. You're thinking of the CIA.
Yeah. So I see Kamala's actions as being sort of the upstart who's fighting the establishment. So she does have a condescending attitude when she's in front of the Senate. And I've definitely witnessed that. But I saw it as more of a middle finger to the establishment. I'm not going to let you cut me off. I'm not going to let you, silence me, etc. Because she kind of came in guns blazing to the Senate. So that's the way I saw that.
Well, yeah, that was kind of the shtick, right? Is that there's a growing, especially among millennial leftists, that the establishment is the root of all evil, and so you gotta have somebody that goes in there and says "F you" to the establishment. I'm just amazed, Leah, that you're okay with Trump's temperament, but you're not okay with Kamala Harris's temperament. Do you think that Trump is more of a congenial personality than Kamala Harris?
Maybe he's not, but I don't view him. I don't see the arrogance in him that I see in her, I guess.
What? No, Leah.
I'm serious.
Leah is trolling us.
No, I'm serious. I think what you see is what you got with him. I think he's very honest. I think he is. The way that you see him is the way that he is, and there's multiple people that have said as much about him. For her, I don't know. It's something about her rubs me the wrong way. I just don't like her. I'm not a fan of hers. She could be a very great person. I have no idea, but as the politician or whatever you want to call it, she just rubs me the wrong way.
Leah, let me ask a completely terribly politically incorrect question. How much of this is just because she's a woman and she's acting a certain way, and men like Trump are allowed to be kind of that way, but women are supposed to project a certain type of deference?
No, I don't think that's it at all, because there are plenty of female politicians that I don't have a problem with whatsoever.
But I mean, like with Kamala's attitude, because to me, if I put Kamala Harris next to Trump, I mean, I could tolerate her much more than Cory Booker. I can't stand Cory Booker.
I can't stand him either.
But to Booker, to me, is, what did he call himself? Zonia Spartacus?
Spartacus, yeah.
I mean, God almighty, help us.
Very establishment. He's not good.
Yeah.
Help us. La ilaha illallah.
Are getting cheaper medication from Canada because some of his biggest backers were Big Pharma.
Okay, yeah, but I don't know. I just feel like if a woman comes off strong and assertive, then she gets held to a different standard than when a man. Because when Trump is being belligerent and megalomaniacal, you say, "Oh, that's 100% him." Well, couldn't I say that that's 100% Kamala? That's how she is.
See, I don't think that. To me, it just seems all for show.
All right.
That's just the way I see it. I mean, I could be absolutely wrong. I know there's people in the village in the chat that like her, and you know, that's fine. That's their opinion. They're entitled to support her or whatever, and I don't have a problem with you if you do support her. That's fine. I love people that support her.
It's just not you.
I personally, she's just, like I said, something about her just rubs me the wrong way, and I don't know if I can really convey a specific something, but I think it's just her overall, the way she carries herself and the way she behaves towards other people. I don't care for it.
I got one thing that I think you should consider is that people born into a lot of money, billionaires who own rich, fancy resorts and have hotels around the globe and are doing businesses with entire countries, do not act the way that Trump does at his rallies. So what you're seeing at the rallies, that's not him. Trump is not you, and he's not me. He's not the average person, and he's born into money. So he sees himself as being better than other people in general. It's typical if you're born into a lot of money and you didn't have to associate with people who are of lower, or more modest means. He didn't have to. He didn't go to a school with people of more common means, and he was always highly, highly privileged.
Does the guy have like gold-plated toilets?
Yeah, the tour of his big suite at the top of Trump Tower is one of the most gaudy things I've ever seen.
Right? Yeah. Oh, I would agree with that.
So he's not a down to earth kind of blue collar buddy and working person kind of buddy person. That's what you see there as an act.
I never said he was.
But it's an act. You were saying that he's what you see is what you get. That couldn't be him.
Well, he's not saying I'm a man of the common people. What he's saying is we're going to win. I'm a competitor, and people have been putting America second, and I'm here to put America first. And that's why you're struggling the way that you're struggling. I mean, he's never been one to say that I'm relating to you as an individual. That's never been his shtick. His shtick is that, look, I'm rich and famous, and the reason I'm rich and famous is because I'm tenacious and I know how to handle business, and I'm going to take that same attitude into the White House on your behalf because I'm making your cause my cause, and now we're going to win because of me.
Yeah, but when he's talking about all these things related to immigration and to the relationship between the left and the right, etc., the language that he's using is not, it's not his kind of language. It's not the language of a billionaire who is born into, millions at the time. And it's the language, it's the same kind of pandering every politician does when they want to get your vote and stir up fervor. So he's pandering just like everybody else does. The thing is, he's just not filtering his language, so it sounds like he's being very realistic. But the reality is he's pandering to you anyway, because he knows that's what you want to hear.
Okay. Let me give an update, guys. CNN has it as a 103 to 106 blue House and a 45 to 38 red Senate. Fox News has it as 49 to 40 red Senate, 102 to 93 red House. Very, very interesting. Good Lord. Okay, well.
They just called one of the Senate races Heidi Heitkamp, who did not vote for
Kavanaugh.
Kavanaugh. She lost her race. So sad.
You are terrible. Okay. I really wish that Jen would call in. I'd love to.
I would love Jen to call in. I absolutely love Jen. She's seriously one of the nicest people you will ever meet.
Yeah, Jen is one of the best villagers ever. Okay, Zonia.
Sure. Her and Pony.
Zonia, BM fan, Leah, thank you very much. You guys are amazing. It was a good one. I learned a lot.
Thank you very much.
I think
And thank you, BM fan, and thank you, Zonia.
Thank you, Leah.
I think Ocasio-Cortez just won the Congress. She got elected to Congress, so good for her.
Very nice.
Very nice. Good work, guys. All right, so it looks like give me a second here. What an interesting discussion. Good Lord. Good Lord. Y'all are an interesting bunch, I'll tell you what. I also get the most interesting message. She's trash, Vin. I don't know, Ranger. It seems to me that she's accomplishing some pretty interesting stuff for being trash. Yes, Alex. Zanya was the one that was talking about machine learning and all that good jazz, and how Terminator 2 is going to be upon us. So, yeah, for sure. So Fox News has it 94 to 103 in the House, but then they're projecting 85% probability that the Dems are going to control the House. Meanwhile, it says on CNN, Dems' Senate path is closing, and they've got it 113 to 106 for the House versus Senate. How many seats do you need to win the House? What's your stance on not voting? So many villagers deny voting. Well, Sarcast, I think the two-party system in America is really, really, really flawed. And I think that if a person is abstaining their vote because they don't want to take part in a two-party system, if you could scale that and make that happen over on a macro level, then I think, I would support it. If it's just about laziness, then obviously not. We need more parties with different, solutions. And I think that, Trump, oddly enough, Trump and Bernie, to me, look like different sides of the same coin. I mean, I think the result would have been exactly the same if Trump would have run as an independent. He completely changed the face of the Republican Party. He pretty much bulldozed his way into changing the Republican Party. So, I mean, that's my thoughts on it. No, Adam, I've never heard of it. What is it? Uncle Dan, you're hilarious. I'm not sure about term limits on the Supreme Court. I just think we need to limit the scope of the power that the Supreme Court currently has, because it's metastasized into something very interesting. Does anybody know how many seats you need in the House to have the majority? Okay, you need 223. I always vote Giant Meteor. Never wins, though. Good Lord. Call me, Mystery. I don't know if I have you in my logs. These early streams are killing me, Vin. They might be, but we've got a lot of Europeans here, friend. And our European friends never get to hang out because our streams are too late. We can't be nationalist, Dirk. What did you miss, Jay? Jay, we figured out why your sister doesn't like Kamala Harris. And it's because Kamala Harris is mean and condescending. All right, hold on. Let's see. U.S. elections, totally for the Europeans. Yes, I want you to watch what's happening to us and then be thankful that you're not in our situation. Let me try to find Mystery. I think this is him. Let's see. Let's see if that call is coming.
Hi, Ben.
Hey!
How's it going?
What's up, bruv? Long time no chat, sir.
Yeah, I'm just following the election and stuff. Not that I really care that much, but I'm still following it for some reason.
Don't you care?
No.
You terrible human being.
I mean, I wrote myself in, so that should tell you how much I care.
Did you really?
Yeah, I always write myself in. That way I can say I voted, but nobody can blame me.
Right. I see. All right, so what do you got?
Oh, I just wanted to talk to you about that band I was talking shit about.
Which one? There's a couple of them that you talk shit about.
The one that opened for us not long ago.
Oh yeah, haven't you repented? You've changed your haven't you changed your
Yeah, I've been listening to more of their stuff, but it's growing on me a lot.
I'm too lazy to start listening to them. Plus, people might start asking for them and we'll have to review them.
Yeah, it's not really something that you can review. It's the noise genre, so it's not.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, there aren't a whole lot of lyrics to break down, but
I see.
it's something.
I see.
Yeah.
Are you? When are you guys going on tour next? Do you know?
We've played here and there over the past week, but there isn't really a solid tour in motion right now. We played in the UK the other day.
What was that like?
It was fun.
Is there a real difference between different groups? Like an American crowd, a UK crowd, Polish crowd?
Yeah. Foreign crowds tend to be on their phones less. That's a trend that I've noticed with American crowds. They tend to have their phones out more. But, if you go to Poland or the UK or some other places, they're really a little more engaged than American crowds. So.
Yeah, we just finished the review of the Behemoth show. That's going to get published probably tomorrow. And yeah, and that was a major issue. It's very strange.
Yeah.
Definitely changes the experience, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I told you need to go to Mary Chrysalis in December.
Well, we got that. We got NAMM. We got a lot of things, man.
Well, I might see you at NAMM.
Oh, you guys are going?
I might be. I'm not 100% sure yet.
Were you at the last one?
No, I wanted to go, but I didn't have time. I've actually never been to NAMM, so.
Yeah, I'm not. The only reason we're going is because a lot of people are saying it's a very good opportunity.
Yeah, I was talking to Dan last night, and he said you guys have press passes.
Yeah, so I guess, you know, it's a good opportunity. We're gonna go. I didn't really understand what the deal was, but apparently it's pretty big.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you can get like inside information on upcoming albums and stuff like that.
Yeah, and there's people we're supposed to interview and all that good jazz. Yes, BM fan Nam.
Because a few people I know who went to NAMM last year got to hear the Rings of Saturn album early, the one that was coming out last year.
Yeah.
And somebody already made a guitar cover out of it before the song was even released. It was funny.
It's a networking gold mine. Okay, all right. I guess we'll go.
He has a lot to say about that stuff.
Yeah, he does. That he does.
That's why it's called Uncle Dan's Dumbassery.
Yeah, you guys definitely need to go to NAMM. I was watching a Behemoth interview last year, and he's like, "No, we can't do that because we got to go to NAMM." I'm like, "No shit."
I want to go. If I go, hopefully the other guys will go too. But
I know. Then I can be part of the band. You guys can make me the honor. Then you guys will, then we'll have real black metal. Get it? Black metal, cause I'm black.
White metal. Black. Oh, you gotta stop. You need to be stopped, my friend. I mean, some people call us white metal anyway, so.
I know, right?
But all they would see are the black hands. That's it.
Simple. It'll be great.
Yep. Hi, Pony. She called me a turd because I didn't say hello.
The guitarist of Blasphemy is black. Maybe we should get Vin to listen to Blasphemy.
Have you listened to the band Oceano at all?
No. People were recommending them.
Yeah, it's a black-fronted deathcore band, if you can believe that.
It's a black-fronted deathcore band. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Are they good?
Nuts? Yeah, they're pretty good. Like, you can definitely tell that he's black, but he's still, he does really good deathcore vocals.
Vin would never go on stage without a Potato Corpse clown paint, would he? I don't know. I'm deciding. My corpse paint didn't go over well. Sori's corpse paint, everybody was like, "Oh my god!" Mine, they're like, "Ah, it sucks."
Yeah, I saw some mixed opinions on that, but I liked your corpse paint a lot.
Everybody likes Sori's corpse paint. So.
Oh yeah, they tend to go to the white woman.
Yeah, exactly. Racist bastard. Racist misandrists.
Yeah. Sarcast says yours was LOL.
You looked ridiculous. Yeah, it was actually, we got a video. I don't know if I'm going to ever release it, but we've got a video of like an interview with me and Sori. And like after, and she was like mega dark with the corpse paint. It was such a strange situation. Of course, she was mad she was mad at me that day. So I'm sure that helped, but she definitely like was in character for sure.
Yeah, she seemed like she was a little upset with you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what happens when you do like commit to doing like daily reviews and stuff, like because those inevitable fights that happen, like
they tend to leak into the.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna not do it, so it's like okay, we're gonna put the fight on hold. Sometimes we do pretty good. People have no idea. Other times it's like very obvious. Sometimes I'll say it. Hey, we're having a fight. Here you go.
Did you leave the seat up? Is that what you did?
I don't know what I did. That was around Halloween, right?
That's a sentiment that many men share.
Yeah. I don't know what I did. Yeah.
Like, you can't say what's wrong because she'll be like, oh, nothing, and then she'll still be pissed.
I forgot, what do you call that? The mushroom head thing. I forgot my crime.
Mushroom Head is terrible.
Oh my gosh, what a terrible band. What a terrible band. I had somebody message me. He's like, unsubbed. I was like, oh, sorry, buddy.
See, that's the thing about Mushroom Head and Slipknot. Like, Mushroom Head was around first, but they were making bad music before Slipknot made good music.
Yeah.
Like, it's the better band has more popularity, obviously.
Yeah. That was just terrible. Good Lord. I'll never forget the Lateralis of You when you played a part of the song. Oh, yeah, that's true, Bricktown. That was a really classic one where Sawyer was clearly angry at me.
Mushroom Head almost signed with Roadrunner Records back in the 90s.
Really?
Yeah. And that's the label that Slipknot's on. So.
Yeah. Well, Roadrunner like became like the metal record thing for a while.
Yeah, Roadrunner and Loma Vista are probably the top record labels.
Okay, so CNN has it 123 to 122 Red House, 48 to 38 Red Senate, and then Fox News has it as 114, 107 Red House, and 49-40 Red Senate.
That's actually kind of close for the House.
Well, yeah, but Fox News is already saying that the Democrats have taken the House.
I think it's a little too early to determine that, but
it's very strange to me.
Yeah.
But
I think they're just trying to get the lids off their back.
Yeah.
They're tired of being seen as biased toward Republicans. So they're just saying, oh, yeah, they got it. But, you know, it's only a projection, so.
Will you dedicate a song to Vin titled Mayonnaise? I actually am about 85% done with my black metal debut that I'm sending to you, Mystery.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you'll enjoy it.
I hope so.
You'll enjoy it.
I don't want you to get me all pumped up to hear it and then it sucks.
Well, you're my friend, so you're just gonna be like, well, Vin, you know, hey.
I'll give you the tomb treatment.
Yeah.
I'll be like, it was good.
Yeah, you know, hey.
You know, I just had some things about it that suck, but
Yeah. I think you will enjoy the subject matter, though.
Excellent.
I think you'll enjoy the subject matter,
The
inshallah.
subject matter is what counts.
Yep. You guys were my inspiration. You and other bands.
Yep.
Which will not be named.
No, not today. Alec, you bullshit. Yeah, Christians can't make black metal. I mean, that's debatable.
Christians can't make black metal. Change my mind.
I mean, I know a couple that have, so.
Whoa. Cruz won. Sorry, Alec. Your buddy Beto O'Rourke lost.
Wait, Cruz won?
Yeah. Sorry about that, buddy. That was your guy. That was your guy, Alec, Mr. Beto O'Rourke. Alec had a big man crush on Beto.
Really? I have that chat muted because I can't, my phone goes off all night in that True Cold chat.
Oh.
So I have the chat muted unless somebody mentions me.
Yeah.
Because, I forgot to mute it one night and all I heard all night was...
Yeah. Well, welcome to my world, sir. People are like, oh, why do you have insomnia?
Yeah. People are, why do you have insomnia? And I'm like, here, take my phone for the evening.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah.
I'm just going to sit here and listen to some Magua.
I like how you're pronouncing the name right.
Yeah, that was you, buddy.
Some people, they just butcher it so hard.
Well,
Magua.
I had somebody was mocking my my black metal credentials, and they're like, "You idiot! Doesn't even know how to pronounce Migla." I was laughing so hard. It's like
and
these.
then there's those people. They're like, actually, it's pronounced
Yeah.
Batushka, not Batushka.
Right.
It's Batushka.
Right.
Like, you gotta pretend to be a sheep when you're saying it.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Batushka. They're funny guys.
Are you guys going to see Ginger? They're touring in the Northeast. Who is Ginger? Who's that?
Yeah, I've never heard of Ginger. Do they have souls? Because I'm 99% sure Gingers have no souls.
Yeah, Tenure 4 Live is my favorite.
Yeah, you tend to lean toward the live performances, don't you?
I like the little guitar transition in the beginning. It's very, very beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, Pisces, the people that do that. Oh, they're coming to the Northeast? I like that band. I don't know if Sorry is gonna let us go to that show though.
Yeah, it's usually the wife that's the ruiner of all fun.
Shame on you. You reacted to Ginger. I remember.
But in my home, what I say is law.
Ginger!
I don't get challenged too much when I say we're gonna do something.
You don't?
No.
Well, I mean, it just depends. Like Sorry handles all the, I work so much that I pretty much default to her for everything, because if she left me to myself, I would just work literally probably 19 hours out of the day.
Yeah.
So, good Lord. Correct the record. I am not a Beto fan. Do it or I swear to Shiva, I will give you jihad forever. Okay. Alec is not a Beto fan. He's a Beto lover. The record is corrected. See, I don't have a crush on any of those people. I'll put Sorry up against anybody. Sorry is legit like Hollywood beautiful. Like, we were going out, because she gets dressed up and stuff when we go out to shows and such, and like nobody will talk to her. I mean, she's like ridiculously beautiful. So it's not that I have a crush on any of these women. It's just that if I don't know, it's just as soon as I go, oh, that young lady was very whatever, forget it.
Yeah, as soon as you compliment a woman, they think you have a crush on them.
Yeah. Forget it.
Like, you can't say anything nice about a woman without people thinking that you want to have sex with them.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, no, I just appreciate the artistic beauty and the value in what they're bringing to the table. Because it's not easy to be a good band. Being a good musician is not easy. It's like one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah.
Because you have to combine, the objective goodness of like just being good at your instrument with the subjective quality of connecting with someone emotionally with your stuff. And that's very hard to do. There's only a few % of the people on the planet that can pull that off. So, I mean,
I'm going to blaspheme here and say that she's really not that hot. Floor.
No.
She's really not that attractive.
But that's not the locus of her value. I mean, she's a musician, and I think her music is amazing. She doesn't need to be attractive. That's the thing about, like, nobody ever says, "Oh, Kirk Hammett is attractive." It's like the guy can play or he can't play. Or Jimi Hendrix, same thing. As soon as a woman gets involved, her profile has to be included in the discussion. Like, I don't care what Floor looks like. She can sing her ass off. That's all I care about.
Well, that's how, like, mainstream music gauges your value in the music world, is how good you look.
Yeah.
You don't see too many ugly people, getting deals and performing in giant arenas.
Yeah, metal is just supposed to be about, like, bringing it. Bringing it. My name is Alec Jones. Alec Jones. Hey, I used to believe in like the chemtrails and all that shit. I still do to like 5%. There's definitely a conspiracy out there somewhere for sure.
I wish Alex Jones was still on YouTube.
Alex Jones is an American treasure.
He is. But have you ever seen his Twitter back and forths with David Hogg?
That's unrealistic. Women's beauty is inherently a part of their stage presence in public view. I just disagree. I just disagree. What the hell does that have to do with anything? What is a woman? Look, I just saw, I forgot the young lady's name, Sarah Longfield with Nabil Viscaris, and there was this one particular moment when she was just getting lost in her music, and actually I got a clip of it, and it was just a transcendent moment, and it had nothing to do with, it was just somebody with their instrument, and you can tell that she's devoted her life to this instrument. And there was just like a 40-second clip where it was just like, oh my God, like we're watching this person and the relationship that she has with this instrument that's just, and she was filling the place with sound. Like, that was crazy stage presence. It had nothing to do with what she looked like.
I mean, yeah, if beauty is part of a woman's stage presence, then it should be part of a man's as well.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I don't understand why you're separating male and female musicians.
Look, if it's pop, I get it, right? Pop music, okay, but I'm talking about like metal, where the medium is just completely different. I don't think that their quote unquote beauty has anything to do with their. But what do I know? Who knows?
Well, that band that we were talking about earlier has a female guitarist, and nobody was really commenting on that at the show. Because, you know, she was just playing her guitar, you know, she had good stage presence, she was headbanging along with it, you know,
Yeah, I almost think in metal, like, if a girl showed up on a stage and then stood there, like, in model poses while the music is supposed to be heavy, like, I think people would be like, she sucks. You know what I mean? They'd probably say something like, she's hot, but she sucks, get her off the stage. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. We saw, what's the name of the band? Wolves in the Throne Room? And they have a female keyboardist, and like I was hearing all the chatter in the back because I was in the front row. Nobody said anything about her, you know, because you know in a chat like this, people are trying to be politically correct or agree with the host or agree with you because you're important. But when I was at that show, nobody made mention, and she was attractive, I'd say, but like nobody even made mention of her because she basically just stood there the whole time. You know what I mean? Like all the people that were getting, you know, there were like 2 or 3 members of the band that were really active with the crowd, and those were the people that people were paying attention to, you know. So if you're feeling your music and you're feeling the crowd, then people are going to react to you in metal. If you're not, it doesn't matter how good you look. Like people come to rock; they're not coming to see you, you know, whatever. Anyway, that's my perspective.
Yeah, he told me honestly, if a girl is truly unattractive, that her popularity would be the same in comparison to other attractive girls. It can be.
In metal?
In the metal community, it can be.
In metal? If she was unattractive, but she was, what's that girl from, I keep saying girl. Arch Enemy, the big, tall, blonde one. I didn't think that she was very attractive. Not the new one, but the one before that. She was just very, you know, she's like one of those like Viking shield maiden ladies. Like you just go to war with her. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, she's hot. I don't know. Maybe people were saying she was hot. I don't know. But to me,
I'm going to mention Ghost, even though I really don't want to. But they have 2 female musicians in the band, and neither of them are that attractive. Yet the fan base loves them anyway. So.
I didn't know Ghost had 2 females in there.
Yeah, they're both keyboard players.
Ha! Case closed, Dirk. Case closed.
Yeah.
Well, getting ripped takes a lot of time to do as well, Sarcast.
Yeah, I'm not ripped. Yeah, I'm still kind of popular in the music. I'm not even that attractive myself, but I'm still kind of popular in the music world.
I think you're a pretty attractive fella.
Thank you. But we don't like Ghost. Yeah, that is 100% correct.
We do not like Ghost. This is true. Although I did like my last Ghost review. I like that
Yeah,
song.
Life Eternal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the golden turds on that album.
Angela. Angela is the one from Arch Enemy. Yeah. I don't think that she's particularly attractive. I just think that she's like, look, you know, we're gonna go to war. We're gonna crush this place for an hour and a half and see you later. Like, boom. Like, that's the energy that she brings. But yeah.
Yeah. The ghouls are what makes ghosts good, not Papa Dumb Doodoo. That is 100% correct. Papa Dumb Doodoo.
Oh boy. Jen, are you ever gonna call in? You're among friends here. The chat is purposely at 50 heads a pop. We no longer have 200 member shows. So come on, Jen, call in.
Yeah, we will get to that point eventually.
Yeah, I know. People are going to eventually find out.
Yeah, I couldn't find this channel. I was like, why am I missing the fire sign? And then I was looking at the main channel, and I'm like, what is going on here?
Ranger, chill. She's not weak for not... So she doesn't call in. She's weak. Stop it. Oh, that's another one, Jen. OTEP. Yeah, Dirk, you think OTEP is particularly attractive for heterosexual males? No, that's not why she's popular. Nice try. I didn't get a notification. Well, nobody... OTEP...
Gets notifications.
Yeah, nobody was getting notifications on the other channel either. I'm just going to get everybody on an email list, and then 2 minutes before I go live, I'm going to blast an email to everybody, and that'll take care of it.
Yeah, that sounds smart.
I'm clearly too insensitive for society. Oh, maybe it's about reading the room, Ranger. Read the room, bruv. You gotta be able to move and realize where you are in certain contexts. Tweet it. I don't know. Twitter, I feel like Facebook, because I usually announce it on Facebook. I usually say, here we are, blah, blah, blah. The Patreon alert worked good. Yes, but we only have 370 people on Patreon. So the majority of our constituency are not on Patreon. So we got to figure out a way to get everybody on a mailing list.
Yeah.
Whoa. That's interesting. Yeah. You still there, Mystery? Did I hang up on you? I just hung up on the big homie. Call back. Yeah, handwritten letters for whenever you go live. Okay, so 128 to 117. Why'd you hang up on me, you bum?
You hung up on me, you bum.
Bale spent 40 million in Lost. Yikes. You could have given us that 40 million. We could have wrote some good music with that, Beto. Golly. What happened to you, Beto?
Beto.
I mean, I just feel like Cruz has had a vice grip on Texas. I mean, how in the world were you expecting to beat Ted Cruz in Texas? I don't understand people sometimes. Oh, there it is. So the GOP officially has the Senate. They hit 50. They hit 50, y'all. So the next time that Homeboy wants to put somebody in the Supreme Court, that's it. It's done. It's gonna happen. Nothing you can do about it.
That's why the House doesn't make much of a difference in that case. MAGA.
It's so funny people get so triggered by that term MAGA.
I know. You say MAGA once and then everyone's like, you bigot.
Yeah.
You racist. You misogynist. You homophobe. You xenophobe.
Yeah, it's like
pretty much every made up word that they can think of, they throw it at you.
it's like, come on, man. It is a goofy. That's the thing about Trump is like he's collectively lowered the conversation bar in America. He really has. If you look at the way that he debated the Republicans, he was giving everybody these little nicknames, you know, tiny hand, what was Little Marco, and then Lion Ted, and you know, Low Energy Jeb, like, and he was just wrecking these dudes, and they were all trying to take the high road, but he was dominating Twitter because the sound bites were so compelling, and then everybody like had to go lower to get to his level, but you can't deal with Trump at that level. He's a master, you know. So like he's collectively like lowered everything. So it's like, you know, now somebody says MAGA, people get triggered, and then, you know, blah. You know, it's like, come on, y'all. Let's have an intelligent discussion, which we're able to accomplish on The Village. I'm very, very proud of that. Very proud of Middle America. Did you get to see the intro video, the teaser video to that, by the way? Oh, it's brilliant. Who saw the Middle America teaser video? Oh, everybody's giving you shit, Mystery, because those are not made up words. Xenophobic, homophobic, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, but nobody uses them unless, you know, it's political.
Yeah.
Like, you think anyone really knew what xenophobe and homophobe and misogynist, like, do you really think anybody used those words before 2016? No. Nobody really used those words until a couple years ago. They really just use the biggest words they can.
Well, yeah. I just think that the left needs to come up with a new set of insults, because when you attach the word phobic to things, it's like nobody's scared of these. You know, it's not that they're scared of them. You got to come up with something else. It's just dishonest. If I was in the Midwest and I was losing jobs, and then somebody wouldn't even come to my state, i.e. Hillary Clinton, she wouldn't even come to the state. And then you have, you know, Trump, who incredibly for his age has a ton of energy. This dude was crisscrossing the country like I am tired, like when I watch how much work Trump does. And it's like, well, of course you're going to vote for him. You know, and then to just call all those people racist and xenophobic and homophobic and all that is just crazy to me. It's like you're not taking into account the real pain that these people have been feeling for the last 15 years. And whether or not Trump can actually solve the problem isn't the point. The point is to call those people deplorables and all the other insults that the left is swinging at them is like completely lacking in self-awareness to me.
Right, like when you're saying when they go low, we go high, they're really just, it's rhetoric. Because they don't go high.
Well,
they go just as low.
Well, yeah. I mean,
that's the way it's always going to be.
I mean, honestly, Hillary called pretty much everybody that wanted to vote for Trump a basket of deplorables. And I don't think Trump ever did that. I mean, Trump went after Hillary as a person multiple times, but he never went after the people.
Trump really ever went after her supporters more so.
Yeah, he never broad brushed her supporters as these terrible, disgusting people.
And that's part of what turned people away from Hillary, too, because if you're insulting the people that you're going to be, you know, you could possibly be president over.
Yeah.
That's not a good look.
Yeah, deplorable is just as stupid as MAGA in terms of silly phrases. I don't know. I think deplorable is worse than MAGA.
Yeah, MAGA's just a slogan.
At least MAGA is
an actual insult.
well. MAGA is positive leaning. It's a positive thing. You know, you can interpret it how you want, but I mean, you can say, okay, yeah, let's make America great again. We all have a vested interest in that.
Right.
But basket of deplorables is just a way to other a whole group of people and demonize and shame them for having a different perspective than you. And I think
but some people consider MAGA like a sort of attack because they think that it's referring to the time where, black people were deeply oppressed, segregation and all that shit. Because that opens up the debate, was America ever great?
Well, and obviously I'm sensitive to those issues, but that can be reimagined and reinterpreted. There's a way to redeem it. You see what I'm saying? Like, to where you can say, yeah, but let's remix it and turn it into something awesome, right? You can't do that with the basket of deplorables. it's just.
You say MAGA, somebody could be like, "Oh, are you talking about slavery? You want slavery back?" It's like you never said that.
It's like, no, you could easily turn that around. You could say no, because the greatness of America is found in our Declaration of Independence and our Constitution. All men are created equal, yada, yada, yada. So let's live up to that standard. And that's what it means to make America great. Okay, good. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, you can redeem that. You can't redeem you're a deplorable if you vote for Trump. You can't redeem that. Like, that's it.
It's just, you made it hard to vote for her. That's the thing. Like, if I'm deplorable because I'm not voting for you, then maybe you should look at why I'm not voting for you.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is Jonathan brings up a good point, was that progressive leftists, she called them basement dwellers. And then, so like anybody that didn't agree with her, like she had all these like large sweeping attacks, like, and then she blamed the Bernie bros for misogyny for why she lost. It's like,
I'm probably going to get blamed for this, but it's because she's a woman, and she thought that because she was a woman that people were going to hand her the office. That's how it.
Well, the first woman thing, she thought she was going to get the treatment from women that Barack Obama got with black people.
Yeah, 52% of women voted for Trump.
Where there is a lot of time, there are a lot of states and cities that Obama wouldn't visit because they were all black, and he knew that he already had them. So he wouldn't even visit them, and she thought it was going to happen just like that. Wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, Zonia's back from voting Republican. Did you vote Republican, Zonia? Vin is just thriving on sugar, Pepsi and Red Bull. I know.
Yeah, I see you open a Pepsi all the time.
I voted for Jill Stein. Well, Jonathan Melton, you are the reason, according to Sam Sater, that y'all lost. So, there you are. All right, so GOP keeps the Senate. That is what CNN is saying. Fox News, MSNBC is saying that as well. The funniest thing about this whole election is that Beto lost when they spent all that money and he was doing the skateboard thing. I think that's hilarious.
See, that's why you just write yourself in. You can't be demonized by anybody.
No, you can be demonized for wasting your vote if you don't vote for Hillary.
Yeah, but I have a chance.
Jen, I voted for Henry Rollins. Jen, I vote for you to call in when you have the time. This was a rare case where I voted mostly Democratic just to get some equilibrium, but it didn't seem to matter. GOP won. Yeah, GOP won.
Just for the sake of equilibrium, though, isn't really a good strategy, in my opinion.
What is?
I don't think voting just for the sake of it being equal is a good strategy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
But yeah, that's pretty much the same as affirmative action, isn't it?
Pretty much. Jen, make the chat great again and call us.
Yeah, Jen, you should call me. So you can tell me your made-up words.
Oh my gosh. We have everybody in our communities like at the pinnacle of their game. We got you. We got Alec, who's an actual like scientist in a lab. We got Zonia, who's a genius, capitalist genius. Everybody's at the top of their game. And then there's little old mediocre me. Then we got Sori, who's a supermodel. And then there's just mediocre Vin. Mediocre Vin. I will call in.
She's doing that. Yeah, we're going to build this up. Just call in.
This is a marketing ploy. We're going to build this up. Oh, I see. Well, I don't have much time left. Oh, look at the baby bump. The baby bump. The baby bump. Okay, so the Democrats are taking the House, and the Republicans are taking the Senate, and then Beto O'Rourke lost, and that's the funniest thing.
I'm waiting for that call.
Yeah, we're all waiting with bated breath. What did we have for dinner?
Tacos.
Oh, that's right. Ugh.
You don't like them?
I actually did like them, but I had in my mind chicken.
Yeah, well, it was raining and I wasn't going to go use the grill.
Oh, I know.
Just come to LA where there's no rain.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna move right next to you, Mystery.
I mean, there's a house near us up for sale.
Yeah, it's probably like $10 million, but hey, let's do it.
I think it's like 600K. So
To Mystery, that's not that bad.
it depends. I mean, if you take out a 10-year mortgage, it's not terrible.
Mystery's like, it's only over $500,000. Fine. Yeah. If I went hardcore on my other job, like completely dedicated myself to it, I could definitely do it. But then there'd be no more YouTube. There'd be no more YouTube. There'd be no more YouTube. So you gotta balance it. You gotta do what you love versus what's making you the money. I want a Subway sandwich.
It's a joke, Mr. Gall. I have to pull out some Dr. Seuss books for actual made-up words. Okay, Jen. Genitalia.
You should come work with me, Vin. Make about $100K after a year. Work 3 days a week. That sounds very scammy to me.
Yeah, I was gonna say pyramid scheme.
Yeah. Sounds like a Craigslist scam to me, sir. Yeah, if I really wanted to do the money thing, I would just do the other job and go hardcore in it. But this is good. This is good stuff. If I was doing the other job, I'd be doing this right now and not talk. I'd be doing that and not talking to you beautiful people. Beto O'Rourke. He defeats. Look at this. Defeats.
Is she calling? Are you calling in, Jen?
Says the dude who won't call in with his own voice. Oh my god.
This is my real voice.
You got burned. Burn.
This is my real voice.
Gen G got jokes. Vin inherited a bunch of money but can't get to it right now. Would you wire some money to me so we could split it? Yeah. I actually knew somebody that did that. It was Baby Brain.
Oh, that's right. It wasn't me. I didn't do that.
Right. It was an African prince from Nigeria.
I'm way too capitalist to fall for something like that.
Whoa, Ultimate Musing, that's awesome. Yeah, Sarcast, dead ass serious. She was explaining the situation to me, just very matter of factly. And I said, "Wait, what?" She's like, yeah, there's this guy in Nigeria, and all we have to do is send our social security numbers to him. I said,
just send him your bank information.
Again, this was not me.
It wasn't sorry. It was like, I was like, what? All you have to do is
send me all of your information, and I'll get you into that house.
I said, I probably would. I'd probably send you all my stuff. And then I said, what? She's like, yeah, so that's why I called you earlier for your social security card. I was like, oh my God. I jumped in the car and drove like mad to the mailbox to see if I could fish it out. Wakanda forever. Is she rich now? No, I screwed the whole thing up because I dug into the mailbox and got our stuff back out.
How did you do that?
I had to go to the freaking whatever. I said, look, I need you guys to open this thing right freaking now. Now.
Okay. She called me bro. She's upset.
Who did?
Jen.
Jen would
still hung up on that made-up words joke I made.
Jen would probably be like the crazy. We only have 15 minutes, guys.
She's still hung up on that.
I need to come up with a plan. I need to come up with like a Nigerian accent and be a king myself.
All you gotta do is run out a phone number and use that.
Yeah. Well, Sori's phone has a business number that we have yet to activate, so.
Well, you could also get your best Indian accent going and offer tech support.
That's true. I actually know a lot of Indian folks who do tech support.
Legit tech support? Or?
Oh, yeah. They're on point.
Nice.
See, this is it. It says Republicans have 141 House seats. Democrats have 132. But they're projecting the Democrats to win the House. I don't understand. Are there any Democrats in the chat that believe... are there any Democrats in the chat that believed that Democrats were going to win the Senate? Did any of you really, really believe that you would win the Senate? Yeah, I miss Ben Webb and Lilo. I bet you anything it's because of the new channel.
Could you call Ben, and he can get a hold of Lilo, I'm sure.
Yeah, because seeing as how they're the same person.
Right. That's exactly what's happening.
Sarcast, you are not agnostic. Not true.
Can I miss Ben insulting me?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Every time I sit in this chair, my stomach starts hurting.
Jen is still upset. I can't believe it.
I don't think she's upset. I think she's messing with you.
No, I think she's upset.
I tried to troll like Ben and y'all got pissed at me. Who? That's probably true, Ranger. It's just different. It's just different with Ben. Ben.
Well, because you're not known to troll, Ranger. Like, everyone knows that Ben is a troll.
Right. And Ben is like, he's younger than me and doesn't have any real life experience. So you've been in a war zone. So it's just different.
Like, Ben is in his basement right now, like, wearing his cloak.
Right.
just waiting for the opportune time to troll.
Right. Right. I control like a big boy. Yeah, it's just I don't know, it's just unbecoming.
Yeah.
8 minutes, losers.
Yeah, Jen, you have 8 minutes to call in.
Ted Cruz.
I don't think you will.
Beto O'Rourke. That's hilarious.
I have Ben's email address, actually. I should email him.
Yeah, you should email him. Don't we have Ben's number?
You do.
I should call him.
Yep.
Okay, so CNN has whoa. 151 to 150?
What?
Yeah, I told you, it's close.
I mean, they just called it for the Democrats, but that is freaking close. I don't do shit men tell me to do. Jen, do not call us.
Yeah, don't call us.
Jen, call us.
Jen, under no circumstances are you to call us in the next 8 minutes.
Jen, you should call us.
Under no circumstances do you call us,
So
Jen.
she must be a feminist. Unless she's messing around.
Vin, it isn't close. I don't know, bro. It's saying that the Democrats take the House 151 to 150. That's one seat.
Yeah, that is close.
That is
In what
ridiculous.
world is that not close?
Greg, I am a man, and I declare that you must not call in.
That is insane. One seat. Come on, Dem. It was. I'm telling you, it was those bombings. If those bombings wouldn't have happened, the Republicans would have had the House too. Good Lord. That's crazy.
Yeah, isn't it amazing how like non-political events can sway a election? Yeah, I want to hear from Jen, so I don't know why she.
Is this Adam, the honest atheist, calling?
Or it's Nergal.
Or it's Norgal. That's true. Yes, I have Nergal on speed dial. Huh? All right, let me see. Let me see Adam. Adam's going to call, or maybe I just doxed him. There's that.
Hey, what's going on?
Who's this?
Adam.
Which
What's up,
Adam?
man?
Which
That's the Behemoth Show.
Oh, Adam.
Ah, the honest atheist.
Adam,
How
the
nice
honest
of you to
atheist.
call in.
I just heard, I just want to correct one thing about the bombing thing, right?
Yep.
I don't know who you're talking to, but I thought it was a strange comment to say how non-political events can sway political happenings when targeted bombings of political figures is the most political event I can even think of.
Yeah, but they weren't all political figures.
Who wasn't a political figure?
Are you saying CNN?
Who?
Are you telling me that Robert De Niro is a political figure?
Are you telling me a targeted bombing of mostly political figures is not a political event?
Mostly political figures.
Yes, it is mostly political figures.
And the CNN, they're not very well.
Oh yeah, CNN. I mean, they're definitely not political, man. Totally. No, you got me there.
Political figures, they're media people.
Yeah, but mystery.
Political figures.
But mystery.
Alex Jones, not political figure.
Hold on.
Rush Limbaugh, not a political figure. Nice.
Hold on. Mystery, you got to admit that CNN is obviously a leftist. They're perceived as being.
Leftist, it's media, though. It's not like politicians.
Well, no, they're
really is what matters.
They're not
media people.
Well, no, because media people influence which politicians, right? Because they, we talked about it earlier, where if you present a certain politician in a certain light, it fuels public perception, which then affects how people vote.
And even if I do give you that, which I never would, but they were sent to Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama.
Okay. Two people that are no longer really politically active, but...
Are you sure about that? Literally campaigning on people to vote for the midterms, holding rallies?
So are celebrities. If you go on any celebrity's Facebook...
So what constitutes a political figure for you? An ex-president rallying for people to vote specifically for certain candidates isn't political?
That doesn't make him a political figure.
That is the most dishonest argument I've ever heard in my entire life.
Facebook right now and tell people to vote red. Does that make me a political figure?
If you're an ex-president or ex-secretary of state, then yeah, I think it would.
Yeah, but an ex-president is just that, an ex-president.
Yeah, a political figure. What, you have to be actively in office and they take your political figure card away from you after you leave? Nice.
I think unless you're a current politician, your opinion doesn't matter. That's just my opinion.
Wait.
Doesn't matter. I mean, that is the most dishonest and pretty much objectively disprovable thing I can think of.
Okay. Whatever you say.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, as they say, everyone can have their opinion, but not all opinions are equal.
Well, hold on. Mister, you're not saying that just because a person isn't like an actual politician that they don't have influence in the political process. Like for
what I'm saying is, like, there's a lot of celebrities that influence people politically. You know, if you go on a liberal celebrity's Instagram, they're saying vote, 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 and all of their comments are saying, yeah, let's vote Democrat, let's vote red, or whoever, you know, they're endorsing. Does that make them political figures?
If we assume that these same celebrities also used to hold political office, such as Barack Obama.
Actors and actresses and stuff like that.
Sorry. Oh, I see the misunderstanding. I was talking about ex-President Barack Obama.
No, I'm talking about, you know, actresses and actors that tend to try to get people to vote for who they want.
But, we're talking about the bombing targeted to mostly political figures.
But who else other than Obama and Clinton were targeted that were political figures?
Let me see. Do you think I'd be able to find any?
Well,
sure.
Well, there is a CIA guy, the ex-CIA guy. Well, hold on.
Holder, right? Or something?
Yeah, Holder was targeted. He's obviously a political figure. I mean...
what I'm saying is the majority of them, like the CNN people and Robert De Niro, etc., I don't consider CNN people political figures. I consider them to be media mouths.
I mean, that's fine. You can believe what you want, but most people understand Barack Obama to hold political persuasion.
And I have an opinion on the bombings that I won't really say.
Well, your opinion doesn't matter. You just have to admit that he can sway opinion.
Sure, a lot of people can sway opinion.
So imagine this. I'm going to target only Republican politicians, right? And only people who are actively trying to get Republicans to vote in an upcoming election, and I send bombs to all of their houses. Would you say that I'm just targeting random civilians who have nothing to do with politics? That's how you would equate that?
I didn't say that he was targeting random civilians that have nothing to do with politics.
So who's he targeting?
You're kind of twisting my words.
Who's he targeting?
This guy obviously targeted Democrats, sure.
Not just Democrats. Democrats who hold significant political sway.
What significant political sway does CNN hold?
Millions of people watch them to get their daily information? Okay, Robert De Niro is probably a wash.
That's what I'm saying, though. They're not all, you know.
Okay, we got one. Eric Holder, former Attorney General of the U.S., Democrat.
Yeah, they had the CIA guy that was pretty critical of Trump. I mean, I think it goes without speaking. It was obviously a political move. He was obviously politically motivated.
It was completely politically neutral and had no sway over the election, I'm sure.
Well, I think it...
I don't think it should have any sway over the election because one nut job that decides to send bombs, whether or not they actually were bombs, is another topic. But if you're sending bombs to people you're obviously not right in the head, and I don't think that should have any sway on an election. One crazy person. Like, are you serious?
Well, I'm not.
Do you think it's a political event, or it's totally removed and independent from it?
No, it's political for sure, but...
Okay, well, I came in here when you called it a non-political event, because that's what I was taking issue with.
No, it's sort of... I consider it 50-50, because if you're a nut job, you are targeting people just because you disagree with them. You're not targeting people, based on what they're doing. I'm having a hard time explaining myself.
He is targeting people based on what they are doing.
Based
on what they are doing.
Hold on. I think what we're saying...
People that he doesn't specifically like.
Because of the rhetoric they are spreading actively. They're not like retired 80-year-old not on the news anymore.
Right.
Jesus Christ. They have significant sway.
Okay.
He was insane.
I think... Hold on. Stop! I'm the moderator! Black privilege! Hold on. I think what we're talking about here is... Mister, are you saying that, look, that act had way more political ramifications than it should have had because this was a lone crazy person.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
That's what you're saying. Okay. So nobody's disagreeing. Nobody's disagreeing, Adam, that there were political motivations or ramifications. I think what Mystery's saying is,
I think it's strange that a non-political event swayed the election.
What I meant was what should have been non-political.
right?
What does that mean? That's very nebulous.
I just defined it. It means that it shouldn't have had the ramifications that it did, because this is one guy. He was not deployed by the Republican Party, but the Democrats seized on it to gin up their base for the home stretch, basically.
Yeah, I agree. It's very smart.
Yeah, like my argument from the beginning is why should the actions of one crazy person dictate what happens in a primary? Well, not a primary.
What do you mean should?
Why should it?
What do you mean should? Because I don't understand that question.
I'm saying, why should the actions of an insane person have any impact on an election?
I really don't understand should there. That's a very vague and nebulous term you're using.
Should is not a nebulous term.
What do you mean should? Yeah,
on the election.
Should based on what? Should or should not have? Like, I don't understand.
No, it had an effect on the election. Why?
Because Democrats, I don't know, it probably rallied them to vote. They saw this happening on the news and were like, maybe I should vote.
No.
Oh, that's not what happened.
No.
So you think that this changed a bunch of Republicans to Democrats? It got non-voters to vote.
Yeah, and they were sympathy votes.
A vote's a vote, dude. I don't understand.
What?
They used it to gain sympathy votes. That's what I'm saying.
Who used it?
The Democrats.
They're just they're literally stating fact.
Well, I mean, no, Adam, you're agreeing that the Democrats used, ironically speaking, weaponized this in order to kind of get them through over on the home stretch. Like if this
as much as they replayed the Trump grabbed them by the pussy thing, they weaponized that. Then sure, I guess so.
Yeah, but Trump was just so much of a powerful figure, and Hillary was such a terrible candidate that it didn't work. Right. But they obviously use this. But that's why. Like, do you think that the House would have been as open and shut if that didn't happen? Let me remix.
I'd like to see the polling data before that happened.
Okay, so we had two of the Kavanaugh accusers retracted their statement, right?
Right.
So let's say there's no MAGA bomber and no synagogue shooter and just that. What do you think happens?
I think that with pretty... Well, I'd have to see the polling data. I couldn't...
Yeah, it could have gone either way. I mean, it can still go either way at this point.
Yeah, all I'm saying is...
What do you mean? What does that mean? It could still go either way?
It's not that far of a divide.
Are you talking about the House? No, yeah. It is. No, it is. Really it's over. It's over.
What's the number? What's the
projection?
What's the final count, Adam?
It's a projection. These projections are very, very accurate.
Adam, what's
as accurate as the projections that had Hillary winning the election?
No, that's...
The projections had Hillary winning the popular vote, and they extrapolated that she would win the popular election.
But when the
projections were correct.
No, you're both wrong.
The projections were correct. The
Stop.
Projections had her winning the popular vote by a margin that she did.
Yeah, no,
but... they also had her winning the electoral vote.
Stop! You're both wrong! You're both wrong! You're both wrong! The people that were saying, look, when the whole Hillary's gonna win was based on polling data, not voting data. What Adam is talking about is the projected wins from the voting data right now. This is not polling. So we're talking about different stuff here. All I wanted to know, Adam, was what was the count?
Here, I looked like 5 minutes ago.
Adam, you're hilarious, man.
I mean, calling someone who's mailing strategically bombs to political people, people with political sway as anti.
We've already defined.
That's the only reason I really called in.
We've already defined what that means.
So is it apolitical?
No, we've already defined what it means. He wasn't saying it wasn't political or politically motivated. He's saying that the ramifications were harped on by Democrats, and it shouldn't have been, because this is a solitary actor. That's what he was saying.
Right, like if.
But okay, no, but it's a solitary. No, but they in a way did. Would you say that Trump calling the media is the enemy of the people, and then a guy mailing bombs to the media who supported Trump, you see no possible correlation?
No, you can't blame Trump for that. That's insane.
I'm not blaming Trump, dude. I would never say, Trump, you're going to prison. Sorry, you told this guy to. I'm saying his rhetoric pretty much demonstrably affected it.
Sure, I mean, if you're insane enough to do something like that, I wouldn't put it past him to actually take that to heart.
So, did Trump have, maybe Trump's rhetoric affected a mentally ill person?
I mean, sure, but you can't really blame him for that, because...
Maybe the mentally ill make up a decent part of our population, and...
Nobody's responsible for the bomber's actions but his own. So.
Right, no, of course.
Well, I don't
go on TV and say that Hillary Clinton's a con, she's my enemy, and, you know, one crazy person might end up sending her a bomb, sure, but does that...
If you're the president...
Yeah.
Well, hold on. No, I don't believe that we can incite people to violence and then have completely clean hands when they commit acts of violence, especially in a 24-hour news cycle and all the social media that we have.
I just don't
see
it as direct incite to violence, you know? It's kind of...
I think Trump has been extremely irresponsible in the rhetoric that he's used. I talked about this in the last show.
Yeah, sure, he has no filter.
And I think...
That's the one thing that set him apart from the other candidates.
Yes, and I think if you're in a corporation, okay, and you've got the best and the brightest working with you, you can say whatever crazy shit you want because they're going to filter that through a whole bunch of nuance, right? But when you're the president and there's 325 million people listening to what you have to say, then you got to realize that you can't use certain types of rhetoric because people can get activated by that stuff. And I think that's the reason why when that leftist guy was shooting up the baseball game, nobody blamed Bernie, because Bernie has been pretty much Jesus in his rhetoric as far as not demonizing people on the other side and using phrases like the media is the enemy of the people.
Well, I don't think that politicians should be blamed for isolated acts of violence in any case, regardless of what they said.
Really?
That's just me. Like, unless they said, I want you to go do this and that, then yeah. But if they're saying so-and-so is an enemy, etc., and one person does some crazy shit, then I can't really blame them for that. That's just...
I don't know. What's up with you, Adam? Why else did you call? Did you call to talk to me? How long have you been in the chat?
I've been switching, I don't know, maybe like 10 minutes before I typed a little bit. Not too long.
Who was your candidate in 2016?
I voted for Hillary Clinton because I don't see with how I could with a clear conscience. I mean, both were bad, right? But I'd rather have...
So you would vote for the woman that ignored Benghazi with a clear conscience, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
You'd vote the woman that basically allowed so many people to die in office with a clear conscience.
Would you call yourself a Trump supporter?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
I'm independent. I didn't vote for anybody. I wrote myself in. I'm sure you heard me say that. I write myself in for every election.
Adam,
that's awesome.
Adam, was the Hillary vote a lesser of two evils vote for you?
I think I'm not really concerned with evil. I'm concerned with the outcome of the country.
Right, but what makes you think that she's interested in America's best interest?
I don't know. Like, she has a decent track record in politics.
Right, like when she sold America's secrets to foreign countries. She's not interested in America, she's interested in personal gain.
Okay. Well, this seems
like, I would only vote for Trump because he said he's interested in America first. That's and he doesn't have a track record of any sort. So that's why I didn't vote for him. You know, if nobody has a track record in politics, I can't really choose them. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because I have no idea what kind of policies they stood for in the past or what they would stand for. Because, you know, if you're a financial mogul, I mean, you would probably benefit the economy to an extent. But
What do you think he's helped the economy a lot?
I mean, I'll just say that I've seen, like, I haven't had to pay steep taxes as I used to. Like, he's helped me financially, sure. I can't really speak on other people.
You can't speak on, well, spending in a deficit. What Republicans literally talk about is what Democrats do. And that's what this tax cut is. That's totally fine. As long as you personally benefit, right?
Yeah, shouldn't we all care about how we personally benefit? You're voting for you. You're voting for yourself.
Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. I don't know. We're supposed to put the country first.
And on that note, Adam, you were supposed to call me earlier. Hey, watch. We did the Behemoth show review, Adam. So
That's pretty great, right? I got Nurgle's pick.
Yeah, he threw me one too.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I have to throw you guys picks too when you guys show up.
Yeah, it'll be on eBay immediately, Mystery. I thought I was gonna be on the stage, bruh. All right. All right, I gotta shut it down. I love y'all. Love you, Mystery. Love you, Adam. Adam, say hello to your brother for me. My final thoughts are the Democrats win the House, the Republicans win the Senate, which everybody knew was going to happen. And the sky's not going to fall. Everybody take care of everybody. And we will see you guys at the next installment of the Middle America with Vin and Sorry. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Gone.
Sorry out.